are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Okay, so let's get the important stuff out the way. So we should be, knock on wood, cross fingers, we should be coming to you guys with a what money stream tomorrow, barring something, drastic or catastrophic or an emergency. We should be doing that. That should be panel discussion once again, barring any type of unforeseen things coming up. So that can happen. That can happen. Um, Today we are saying what math. I'm going to be changing the title to, I'm saying what math, sorry, half the math, right? We will be changing this title to half the social math, which the ladies have not necessarily been informed of, or they're doing once again half the math, half the social math. And half the social math entails them only um, doing the math that feels good, doing the social math that feels good without actually considering, what's the other half of this? Women aren't the only sex, right? XX chromosome isn't the only sex. What do the XY chromosome care about? The women don't care what you care about. They just want what they want, which is perfectly okay, but not doing that other half of the social math is how you end up, well, single, lonely, pretending that you're not, throwing adult temper tantrums and framing it as if you care about other women or some type of female collective uplift or feminism. All of this is, I wasn't chosen by who I wanted to be chosen by arguments, right? All of this idea of women deserve the best. Shout out to the ladies who are playing this game and looking real foolish in the midst of it. Like, well,
needs to hear this, but guys, stop trying to date women who are clearly out of your price range. You know you can't afford us, so why are you trying to talk to us?
Man, Rachel, your little broke ass work at Starbucks.
Listen, can I?
just in case y'all didn't catch it, shout out to all of you that just got in like 2 seconds ago. Play it one more again for the people, Z.
Needs to hear this, but guys, stop trying to date women who are clearly out of your price range. You know you can't afford us, so why are you trying to talk to us?
Man, Rachel, your little broke ass work at Starbucks.
Listen, can I?
Yeah, now that could be a skit. It could be. It's still funny because this is actually happening. I've said this multiple millions of times. Not millions, millions of times. The outliers are doing too much talking. And so you have everyday average women, the women we run into on a daily, working at fast food, working at retail, middle management jobs, right? Working at the grocery store, earning 30 some odd, 40 some odd, 50 some odd $1,000 a year. And yet they're speaking like they're Ebony K. Williams. Only if he owns the bus. Said again, Z. Only if he owns the bus, right? Your everyday woman who still earns less than your everyday man on average, including within the Black community. They're using these outliers to make an argument, which is, I am woman. I deserve to do whatever I want to do, free of constraints. This is where Mr. Z comes in with the negative liberty talk. And it is your job as a man to subsidize my autonomy, well, from you. Huh? This is where the ladies come in like that. The men hear the ladies and the men are moving accordingly. Shout out to the men. The men hear the ladies and they are moving accordingly. You're going to continue to have everyday women, which are about 80% of women in America. Once again, 30 some odd $1,000 a year earners, 40 some odd, 50 some odd, maybe 60 some odd $1,000 a year earners. And they will get online and they will talk like this.
Needs to hear this, but guys, stop trying to date women who are clearly out of your price range. You know you can't afford us, so why are you trying to talk to us?
Man, Rachel, your little broke ass work at Starbucks.
Listen, can I?
Huh? Stop dating women you can't afford. This is why Mr. Z tells y'all, when these ladies, when they even imply, suggest any type of "you can't afford me," it's okay to tell them, you know what, you're right, even if you can. Get out of your ego. Leave these women out here. As Line has said multiple times, they still getting piped anyway. Maybe not by you. Leave these ladies out here. We know them. Some of them are our aunts. Some of them are our girl cousins. Some of them are our sisters. They out here doing whatever they want to do, and there's a cost to that. The men that they would rather take them seriously aren't. The men that they want, the ladies want certain men to take them seriously. Those men aren't. That's the cost. That's the cost of the ladies' autonomy. That is the cost of the ladies' negative liberty. Leave them out there. Assuming this isn't a skit, it says everything. Date the women you can afford. Even though I work at Starbucks making $15, $16, $17 an hour, 25 hours a week, 32 hours a week. Huh? My paycheck is 800, 900, 1,000, maybe 11 if I'm lucky, every 2 weeks. But y'all need to date women that y'all can afford. That is the language for men that she's not attracted to. The ladies are doing half of the social math. Gen Z, millennials, we were in the classes. None of the teachers, none of the professors are telling the ladies what their autonomy cost them. They're not telling the ladies what their autonomy cost them. They're not telling the ladies, maybe your autonomy cost you security from a man, from any man. Maybe your autonomy cost you having children, definitely children within wedlock. Maybe that's what your autonomy cost you. Maybe your autonomy cost you nuclear family. Huh? Ladies, this is what you fought for. That equality you fought for, well, you know what it looked like?
I'm standing on the train and look at all these men. What happened to giving up your seat for women? No man offered me a seat. Excuse me, are you going to get up?
What?
Are you going to get up?
Are you pregnant?
No.
Are you for equality?
Yes?
Then fuck off.
Play it one more again for the people, Z.
I'm standing on the train and look at all these men. What happened to giving up your seat for women? No man offered me a seat. Excuse me, are you going to get up?
What?
Are you going to get up?
Are you pregnant?
No.
Are you for equality?
Yes?
Then fuck off.
Shout the season, man.
Out here in the elements, indeed, Indigo. And Indigo Flow says, hashtag out here in the elements. Out here in the elements. Huh? Out here in the elements. Rightfully so, as they should be. as the ladies should be. Dear ladies, you owe men nothing. What this man expressed to you in maybe a sharp tone, right? But what he expressed to you is all the gentlemanliness. Y'all don't get that no more. Ladies get gentlemen. And ladies don't demand that gentlemen are gentlemen. Gentlemen are just are. Ladies just are. It's the dance. If the ladies want to practice their autonomy to the nth degree, generally be unpleasant, mean, rude, smug, sassy to men, demanding to men as this lady was, what the ladies have to appreciate is the men will respond in kind. In other words, translation said differently, you don't get to be an asshole demanding gentlemanly men. That is what that man expressed to you. Once again, to the title that says half the math actually is going to be changed later on to half the social math. This is what half the social math look like. You looked around the train, I'm assuming, train or bus. You saw a bunch of men sitting down, and you, as a woman, were standing up. In your mind, these are not men, right? A man would get up for a lady. A man would offer his seat up for a lady. These men should be offering their seats up for the women on the bus or the train. But we don't live in that world anymore. The ladies said equality, and the men said, all right, bet. We gonna make you mean that. Huh? And ladies, what we gonna make you mean that looks like is, well,
I'm standing on the train and look at all these men. What happened to giving up your seat for women? No man offered me a seat. Excuse me, are you going to get up?
What?
Are you going to get up?
Are you pregnant?
No.
Are you for equality?
Yes?
Then fuck off.
Yo, shout the season, man.
half the social math. The ladies back. My apologies, y'all. My apologies. And no, this is not a reckless stream. We will see if we'll be able to bring up a panel for a short time, but yeah, that's why I'm trying to do a speed run on this. I wanted to cover this just in case we have any technocrats, social designers, any thinkers listening, to emphasize this. Y'all didn't tell the ladies what it cost them, and you do know what it cost them. No wonder we have Professor Galloway and Dr. Richard Reeves speaking about men overproducing. I want to say this for the 1 millionth time. Professor Galloway and to Dr. Richard Reeves, we're not overproducing for America's asshole daughters. If they can't afford their life, then let them starve. They better go find other women and go find some apartment and go 2, 3, 4 deep in that one apartment. And if I'm not mistaken, I heard a UK accent from those folks. I'm gonna play it one more again. As you can see, this has spread past America. You see it in South Korea, you see it in Japan, you see it in the UK, you see it in America. Of course, the ladies said equality. The men said, all right, we gonna make you mean every bit of it. And I want to be very clear. Your average man is not listening to any manosphere rhetoric, any black manosphere rhetoric. They're just living their life and they're moving accordingly. Shout out to KMS, because there's too much pain in the system. The men don't have to listen to us. They see the way the women are speaking and moving and acting and conducting themselves. And the men are moving accordingly. The men are doing the social math. The women are only doing half-ass social math. They're doing half the social math. You don't get gentlemanly men when you're an asshole woman, when you're mean and rude and smug and snarky. You don't get to badger the men about being quote unquote real men by subsidizing asshole women. Huh? And exactly, Telescope, you are a scholar and a gentleman. And Telescope says, hit the like button, please. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And talking about that, Bruce Owen Wayne says, wake me up when he's on. Hashtag Desali lives on. Hysterical. Mr. Z is on right now. Mr. Z's been on for about 15 minutes. Right? And thank you for the super chat. Bruce Owen Wayne, thank you for the super chat. Play it one more again for the people, Z. I think it's a UK accent out here. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
I'm standing on the train and look at all these men. What happened to giving up your seat for women? No man offered me a seat. Excuse me, are you going to get up?
What?
Are you going to get up?
Are you pregnant?
No.
Are you for equality?
Yes?
Then fuck off.
Yo, shout the season, man.
So to all the women, you hear this especially in the black community. You hear this in the hoods all across America. What happened to the real men? These men ain't real no more. These men are sassy. All of that type of talk, right? And that sound good. To all the ladies, it sound good. But we don't owe you not being that. Huh? There is a consequence for your freedom, your liberation, and your autonomy. There is a price. Both financial, monetary price, but also a cost. And what that may look like is you being stranded on the side of the road with no man to call. You just got to wait until the tow truck.
Humbling moment for me right now. I had some car trouble this morning, apparently. I'm on the side of the road. Instead of thinking about how much money this is going to cost, instead of thinking about what repairs I need, what's going through my mind right now is the fact that I don't have no man to call in a time like this. I don't have no man that can sit here on the phone and wait while I'm waiting for this tow truck. I don't have a man to come meet me so that I don't get snatched up by this tow truck driver. I don't have a man to call to sit on the phone with me while I'm getting the tow truck. I don't have a man to meet me at the mechanic. I think it's time for us to accept we need men. As much as we say we don't, we need men.
Unfortunately for that lady, she realized this when she's kind of stranded. You know, I'm thinking of somebody, if she comes up on this stream, she'll know I'm talking about her. And she was kind of on this journey before the fact, but she mentions once kind of being in this situation, right? If you listening, yes, I'm talking about you. I ain't gonna say nothing greasy. But unfortunately, you find a lot of ladies who realize this in moments like this. And once the crisis is handled, the crisis averted, right? They go back to their old ways. Mean, rude, snarky to random men, any random man that could have been a boyfriend or a husband in the future. Because the ladies are doing half the social math. This is what your autonomy look like for real, ladies. It looks like your car on the side of the road and people just flying by. Men just driving by. If the women aren't going to have smiles and be cordial and relatively pleasant and kind to random men, Not saying to put yourself in danger, not saying to make yourself seem naive or too open, if y'all get what Mr. Z saying. But if the women aren't going to be generally cordial to your average man, particularly your average black man concerning the black community, then the men will respond in kind. And it won't necessarily be from a place of malice. It doesn't have to be. To be frank with you, I would argue the average man isn't necessarily coming from a place of malice. They've adjusted to the environment. They're moving accordingly, rightfully so. And Joe says, and thank you for the super chat, Joe says, overproduce equal, we know they're not likable, but can you pull an extra 20 hours this week to cover them? Exactly. And once again, Joe says, overproduce equals, quote unquote, we know they're not likable, but can you pull an extra 20 hours a week this week to cover them? Exactly. That is exactly what Dr. Richard Reeves and Professor Galloway and Oprah, that's what they're saying. That is exactly what they're saying. And as you can see from the men who becoming more recluse, our own American version of the hikikomori out of Japan, the shut-ins, you see our own American version in the US. The men are saying no. For who? If all the ladies want to know, because you're too slow and you don't get it, if all the ladies want to know why the men are now the ones being told men get in for free at clubs and bars across America, it's because y'all don't overproduce, not as a group. Miss me with the outlier women. Oh, I got a girlfriend, she make $250,000. Whenever we go out, she pay for all our drinks. We don't need y'all. There's not enough of those women. If you need to know, ladies, for any ladies listening in, there's not enough of you that overproduce, and there's not enough of you paying for your homegirls or your boyfriends and husbands. Oops. Y'all can't do it. And for those of you who have it, y'all don't want to do it. That is why the clubs are saying to the men get in for free before this time, because not enough men are going to the bars and the clubs, because the ladies have shown about 75% of men, more like 80, you're right, 75% of men, that y'all don't find them any bit attractive or appealing. And the ripple effects of that are splashing on everyone. The ripple effects of that mean that more and more of your young men aren't going clubbing. Because one, you ladies aren't really checking for the men, the everyday man who's not into VIP. VIP is stupid, dumb, expensive. Then you get in VIP, you and a boy split the bill. You and two of your boys split the bill for you to do what? Bring in a bunch of a-hole women into VIP with you who gonna just be drinking up your drinks and eating little finger food. The bill done came up to 200, 300, 400, 1,000, 1,500. Yes, that's a real thing. Welcome to South Florida, everyone. You got a bottle or two, the bill's $2,000. And maybe if you're lucky and you look good enough or you're charismatic enough, maybe you got one of the girls that y'all let into VIP with y'all. Maybe you got one of their information, their IG. Their number, if you're lucky. And that's for the men in VIP. The everyday man that's not in VIP, oh, he's invisible. The men are not going, ladies. Once again, y'all did half the social math. To all you 23 and 24 and 25-year-olds, I see y'all videos all over social media. The men are getting in for free. Why do women gotta pay? Because y'all not gonna overpay. Y'all not going to the bar and buying 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drinks in one night. The men are. The men are the ones buying 7 and 8 and 9 drinks in one night. The men are the ones saying, we'll get another round. The men are doing that. The men are the ones that say, hey, I'll pay for the first round, you got the second one. Or you pay for the first one, I got the second one. The men are doing that. Once again, don't come to me with your outlier homegirl. Me and my homegirl spend money when we go out and we spend money on drinks. Stop it. So yes, the clubs and the bars are saying to the men, hey, we'll let you in the club for free because we know you're going to spend when you get in. We know you're going to spend that $50, that $60, that $100, that $120. Huh? And we know by the end of the night, if we get 20 of you that spend that type of money, oh, we didn't pay the bills for today. Huh? And we get 50 of you that spend that type of money, oh man. And the ladies just aren't going to do it, not in that scale. If you're lucky, you get 1 or 2 women spending that type of money. If you're lucky, 3, 4, you're not getting 10. Huh? You're not getting women who are going to try to compete with each other across the club. This one in the VIP section, that one in the VIP section, and they're competing to see who can afford more bottles. That's what men do. Mr. Z been in the club and seen it. Mr. Z been in VIP and seen it. Oops. Huh? Ladies, you're not doing it. Not at scale anyway. That's why they want the men in the club. They want the men in the club because they want the men to try to outspin the other men so that the women can move from this section to that section. Huh? This is what happened, ladies, when you don't do the social math. When you don't do the social math, you out here on the side of the road as a fairly okay looking woman. She's not an ugly woman. Why don't you have a boyfriend? You look young enough. You're attractive enough. Why don't you have a man? Play it again for the people, Z.
Humbling moment for me right now. I had some car trouble this morning, apparently. I'm on the side of the road. Instead of thinking about how much money this is going to cost, instead of thinking about what repairs I need, what's going through my mind right now is the fact that I don't have no man to call in a time like this. I don't have no man that could sit here on the phone and wait while I'm waiting for this tow truck. I don't have a man to come meet me so that I don't get snatched up by this tow truck driver. I don't have a man to call to sit on the phone with me while I'm getting the tow truck. I don't have a man to meet me at the mechanic. I think it's time for us to accept we need men. As much as we say we don't, we need men.
And you literally see the cars passing her on the side of the road. Huh? This is the cost. We literally had this personal story. Ms. Z went to go get her oil change one day. They didn't put the oil filter back on. She drove it for half the day. Oil filter popped off, damn near blew the engine. Engine seized up on her. She had to get the car towed to the house. Guess what Mr. Z did the next day to make sure they know that y'all can't pull this again? Mr. Z called out of work. We got the car towed to the shop. Mr. Z did the talking. Fresh oil, new filter, money back. Oh, so they did it for free? Yes. Come back if anything happened. If anything happened within the next 30 days, come back. Yeah, you damn right. This young lady doesn't have that. Huh? And she is literally, see, when Mr. Z says out here in the wilderness, I mean that literally and figuratively. And figuratively, this lady is out here in the wilderness. She is out here waiting for the tow truck by herself. Like she said, no man to call to console her, no man to pop up and just wait with her, no man to do anything. Because some of these things, it might be a quick fix. Babe, ain't nothing wrong with your car. The terminal ain't on the battery right. Look at this. Click, click. Okay, the car start. It could be something that easy. Huh? Or it could be something more serious. But if you have a man that will pop up and wait with you because the tow truck gonna take 2 hours, depending on where you live, how busy he is. Z, you assuming it's a he, stop it. How busy he is. It may take a couple hours. You don't have a man that say, hey, I'm calling out, I'm telling my boss right now, I'm walking out right now. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I'll be there in 45 minutes. I'm only 20 minutes away. Huh? There's a cost. And shout out to all of y'all. Well, she can have a girlfriend, or she can have her mom, or she can have a sister or aunt. Let's let this young lady say it again, why it's important to have a man.
I am tired of the amount of gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for. And there's no amount of self-love or therapy that can kind of circumvent the frustration that being single is very expensive. Because if, an example, I am sick, I don't have anyone who can cook for me. My friend can ask her boyfriend to cook for her. I have to DoorDash something. If I need help moving something in my house, I need to go find someone and pay that person to come over and move it. Well, my friend can just ask her partner. And all those things just add up. If you lose your job, you have someone who can help you with rent. If you are having like financial trouble or health trouble, you now need to like disclose that to your family or friends, which might be embarrassing, or you can tell your one husband or your wife to help you through that. It is so frustrating to have to go through so many things alone and make these really big decisions, hard decisions completely by myself. I have my friends, I have my family, I love them, I can lean on them, but maybe I don't want to tell them all about my finances. Maybe I don't want to have to over-explain my entire health condition to them. Maybe I just need someone to help me with a real quick task that I don't want to have to pay someone or wait for someone to drive across town to come help me. And it is so frustrating because we're told that, being single is great. And it's really great when compared to an unhealthy relationship. But being single is not always better than having a healthy relationship. Don't get me wrong, I am not going to go hop into a relationship with a man just so I can have someone. But I do think we need to be honest that being single, while it can be really great, is also very impractical sometimes.
This is where heterosexual intimate relationship with men come in. I don't want to tell the sisterhood everything. I don't want to have to. It makes me cringe to have to express these certain things to my mom, my sister, or my homegirl, my girlfriends. But the cost of you ladies' autonomy, liberation from men, freedom from men and what men think and what men feel, particularly in the Black community, well, what it look like is when you're caught up, when you're in a bind. I'm in a bind, Nate. When you're in a bind, well, you out here in the wilderness.
Humbling moment for me right now. I had some car trouble this morning, apparently. I'm on the side of the road. Instead of thinking about how much money this is gonna cost, instead of thinking about what repairs I need, what's going through my mind right now is the fact that I don't have no man to call in a time like this. I don't have no man that could sit here on the phone and wait while I'm waiting for this tow truck. I don't have a man to come meet me so that I don't get snatched up by this tow truck driver. I don't have a man to call to sit on the phone with me while I'm getting the tow truck. I don't have a man to meet me at the mechanic. I think it's time for us to accept we need men. As much as we say we don't, we need men.
And what did she say in the beginning? Humbling moment. Humbling moment. What did you think? All of you weirdo, hate men, feminist, female empowerment, quote unquote female liberation women. You see what you did to your daughters? All you still mad at my baby daddy women. All of you, I hate my ex-husband women. All of you LGBTQ men. The straight men didn't accept me, so I got something for them. These are your daughters. These are America's daughters. She had to go through this and say, oh, humbling moment. I realize, oh, crap. You realize what? That you're not women hear me roar? That you don't want to get under the hood to see what it is because you might chip a nail? That even though a man might not be able to do much, but you don't even have someone to call. Appreciate. Her issue is she doesn't even have a man to call. There's not even someone for her, a man at least, for her to call to console her and be like, "Oh no, it's gonna be okay, babe. I'm stuck at work, but I'll talk to you until the tow truck get here." And you'll hear a man's voice on the phone, and he won't do nothing or try to pull anything. Or I'm too far out to meet you where you are. I'll meet you at wherever the car is getting towed. Huh? To America, to America's feminists, you didn't tell your daughters what it would cost them. And now your daughters, for decades now, 5, 6, 7 decades, have been doing half the social math. They've been doing half-ass math. And they're out here looking real sick. They're out here stranded on the side of the road looking real sick. Huh? I'm talking about that. Let's read this from KMS. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat, Starbucks broke Rista, not barista, but broke Rista hysterical. Starbucks broke Rista talking about ninjas getting the bag up to date. Yitch, if you don't get my iced coffee and stale bagel, hysterical. Hysterical. Look, this is the rhetoric, and we see this everywhere, particularly concerning quote unquote urbanized women. So you're pretty much all your black women, your Latinas in and around the way, even some of your white women in and around the way, is this type of talk, KMS. Is this type of talk. Well, if you can't afford me, just say that. Well, if you broke, just say that. We're not giving no broke men no, vagina. Y'all know what Mr. Z want to say. No box. Huh? And all of that sound nice, but the women screaming and shouting that hook, broke men get no vagina, insert word. The women saying that the loudest earn $42,000 a year, been paying off their student loan debt for the past 7, 8 years, still owe $46,000 on it, $35,000 on it, live with a roommate that he could barely afford the apartment, and pulled up to the club in a baby Benz, a Tesla 3 they could barely afford, if not the Toyota Camry their parents helped them pay for or get or went half with them when they were 19, 20 years old. They're still driving their first car and they're 32 years old, not because they want to, but because they need to. The women screaming this the loudest have $10,000 and $15,000 in credit card debt, a couple of out-of-town trips they still paying for from last year, and they telling you broke men deserve no insert vagina. Oh, there's a pun in there. That's funny. Huh? Now, appreciate your ladies earning 80 and 90 and 100 and 120 and 150 and 200 and 250 a year. They're saying the same thing. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But it's fascinating to hear the ladies screaming about who isn't deserving. Meanwhile, they working at Starbucks. Shout out to
You
KMS.
hear this, but guys, stop trying to date women who are clearly out of your price range. You know you can't afford us, so why are you trying to talk to us?
Man, Rachel, your little broke ass work at Starbucks.
Listen, can I?
Yep. It matters because this is what informed this worldview, these videos, particularly on the internet and social media, help to encourage and incentivize other women to sound delusional. And then they're on the side of the road looking sick.
Humbling moment for me right now. I had some car trouble this morning, apparently. I'm on the side of the road. Instead of thinking about how much money this is gonna cost, instead of thinking about what repairs I need, what's going through my mind right now is the fact that I don't have no man to call in a time like this. I don't have no man that could sit here on the phone and wait while I'm waiting for this tow truck. I don't have a man to come meet me so that I don't get snatched up by this tow truck driver. I don't have a man to call to sit on the phone with me while I'm getting the tow truck. I don't have a man to meet me at the mechanic. I think it's time for us to accept we need men. As much as we say we don't, we need men.
Huh? Yeah. That's the cost, ladies. And once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. That's the cost. The ladies are doing half-ass social math. They're doing half the social math. The only part they really appreciate and understand is that we don't got to care about men's opinions and women get to do whatever they want to do because, well, we want to do it. And here's an example of that expressed in multiple ways. Play the tape, Z.
If men should masturbate to fill their sexual needs, why don't women read romance novels to fill their romantic needs? If men should masturbate to fill their sexual needs, why don't women read romance novels to fill their romantic needs?
A lot of times women do, but like I said, a woman
No,
shouldn't
we
have
having
to do
technical
anything.
difficulty.
A woman should be
difficulty. Yeah, gives you a second.
attentive to, like,
If men should masturbate to fill their sexual needs, why don't women read romance novels to fill their romantic needs?
a lot of times women do, but like I said, a woman shouldn't have to do anything. A woman should be attentive to, like, without saying.
I feel like it's different. Lust and romance don't always go hand in hand. They don't always correlate. I think men tend to be more lustful while women search for romance. And I feel like they're filled in different ways that a book can't compared to a man with lust.
Why should men have any obligations to fill women's emotional needs if women don't feel any obligation to fill men's physical needs?
Because once again, who is a man? Nobody.
We're going to play that one more again, y'all, because Mr. Z had technical difficulties. Let's play it one more again.
If men should masturbate to fill their sexual needs, why don't women read romance novels to fill their romantic needs?
A lot of times women do, but like I said, a woman shouldn't have to do anything. A woman should be attended to, like, without saying.
I feel like it's different.
Let's pause right there. A woman could do anything while also being attended to. That's what she was trying to say. What I appreciate, and there's a reason why I play sometimes women who y'all would think are maybe uneducated or maybe can't speak well or can't express themselves well. It's because of the message that they get. What you're hearing from this lady is how feminism has hit her brain, how she's processed female empowerment. And so she doesn't have the talent, the language, the wherewithal to speak like a Kim Foster. What she's expressing to you is what feminism look like is women good, man bad, I do what I want to do, and men kiss my ass. Mrs. E. Rahman. This is what she's been led to believe. My argument is this is what the vast majority of women have been led to believe. The vast majority of women have been led to believe this, particularly in the Black community. Women good, man bad, a man's job is to kiss my ass. He is supposed to do as I say. I'm on the right side of history. He's on the wrong side of history. I'm morally superior to him. I'm more humane than he is. I'm more of a humanitarian than he is. Right? I have a spiritual understanding that he doesn't. I have a connection to children that he doesn't. I'm more civilized than he is. And now, what a man's job is, well,
what if Black women were supposed to be the leaders and Black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
Like
I play that over and over again because she said the quiet part out loud. The way feminism is being processed by women, young women under the age of, 50, 60, is particularly in the Black community, definitely particularly in the Black community, is what about if women are supposed to be the thinkers, are supposed to be the ones directing, are the ones supposed to be pontificating and swirling the wine in their wine glass, while they have deep introspective geopolitical conversations, and the men are just supposed to do as we say. We come up with the ideas and they act on what we say. This is how women have processed feminism. Female empowerment. Quote unquote female liberation. That young lady, man on the street, told you. Play it again for the people, Z.
If men should masturbate to fill their sexual needs, why don't women read romance novels to fill their romantic needs?
A lot of times women do, but like I said, a woman shouldn't have to do anything. A woman should be attended to, like, without saying.
I feel like it's different.
A woman shouldn't have to do anything. A woman should be attended to. This is how women have processed feminism. To all you technocrats and social designers, all of you thinkers, all of you government policy folks, all of you academics, you haven't said to the women, and you will never say it because y'all are cowards, what their autonomy cost them. And maybe their autonomy cost them men. Maybe their autonomy cost them a heterosexual relationship. Maybe their autonomy cost them the 20-year marriage, the lifelong marriage. Maybe their autonomy cost them having children. Shout out to Dr. Marcia Inhorn. Maybe they're going to have to put their eggs on ice and still never have children. Goddamn. Maybe their autonomy cost them children in wedlock. Huh? Maybe that's what it cost them. As the young lady said, women shouldn't have to do anything. Women should be attended to. This is what happens when you've raised fully 3 or some odd generations of women who have convinced themselves and have been convinced that in relationship to men, they are infallible. Once again, women have convinced themselves and have been convinced by the masses of women in wayward, ass-kissing, blue pill, placating men that in relation to men, women are infallible. Shout out to all you pastors and preachers wondering why it's 30-70 split at your church, men to women. Huh? Shout out to academia that's wondering why it's 2/3 women at your institutions. To Dr. Richard Reeves and to Scott Galloway, the women have done half-ass social math. And the men have said, overproduce for who, for what? You could keep your whole real man moniker, excuse me. That what a real man does, the men said, you know what? I guess I'm not. You can have that. Play it again for the people, Z. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat.
If men should masturbate to fill their sexual needs, why don't women read romance novels to fill their romantic needs?
A lot of times women do, but like I said, a woman shouldn't have to do anything. A woman should be attended to, like, without saying.
I feel like it's different. Lust and romance don't always go hand in hand. They don't always correlate. I think men tend to be more lustful while women search for romance. And I feel like they're filled in different ways that a book can't compared to a man with lust.
Why should men have any obligations to fill women's emotional needs if women don't feel any obligation to fill men's physical needs?
Because once again, who is a man? Nobody.
If men should...
Once again, who was a man? Nobody. What you have to appreciate is the white woman didn't necessarily say that. She wasn't as coarse and harsh. With that, what she did do, shout out to white women, is play moral high ground. There's a difference between lust and romance. Men tend to be more lustful. Women tend to be more romantic. And they're fulfilled in different ways. Moral high ground talk. She's talking for her church pastor. Huh? Moral high ground talk. Look, the women are less lustful. And so our needs are just more wholesome than the men. The men, they fall prey to lustful desires. Huh? The women, on the other hand, we're looking for genuine, true romance. Now, no one want to say that modern romance, well, is a modern concept. And it too can be toxic because it causes women to be, well, wait for it, delusional. No one speaks about how romance can also too be toxic because women put all of this delusional ideas and standards on what is quote unquote romantic. But we'll leave that on the table. See, you ain't leave it on the table. You right. Huh? The white woman still tried to play moral high ground. She didn't say too much different than the black woman initially, that first part of what the black woman said. Because they're both playing the we're more moral and better, and we should be tended to. Our ideas, concepts, wants, desires are more wholesome than the men. Huh? The men fall into their carnal desires more, their desires of the flesh. Huh? Where the women were more wholesome, and we should be, as the young lady said, the black young lady said, tended to, attended to. What you have to appreciate is how the black young lady finished off the conversation. What's a man? Who's a man? What? In other words, why does he even matter? His desires, his wants, his feelings don't matter. Once again, this is how women, particularly young women under the age, I would argue, of 35 years old, this is how they've processed female empowerment. Female empowerment is supposed to be antagonizing to men. It's supposed to be mean to men. It is supposed to be dismissive to men. It is supposed to be insulting to men. And we finish this up in a nice, pretty bow by saying real men are feminists. Oh, you gotta love it. Huh? You damn right. Z, did you make that up? Nope, because in the comments for this was real men are feminists. What's this, Z?
I'm standing on the train and look at all these men. What happened to giving up your... I'm standing on the train and look at all these men. What happened to giving up your seat for women? No man offered me a seat. Excuse me, are you going to get up?
What?
Are you going to get up?
Are you pregnant?
No.
Are you for equality?
Yes.
Then fuck off.
Yo, shout the season, man.
Huh? In the comments for that video were a few women. Real men are feminists. Well, it might seem harsh, but in actuality, he is correct. If you believe in equality, then this is what it looked like. I got on the bus first. I got on the train first. I sat down first. I don't owe you getting up out my seat. The days of being a quote unquote gentleman are over. Would it be a nice gesture? Yes. Would it be gentlemanly? Yes. Would it be what we've traditionally considered manly and masculine to get up out my seat, to offer you my seat, get up out my seat, make a grand gesture of you sitting down? Yes. But I don't owe you that, because what equality looks like is I got here first. It's my seat for the time being. If I get off the train or the bus before you do, you can obviously gladly have the seat. But I got on the bus or the train first. I sat down first. You just gonna have to stand. I don't owe you, nor does any other man on this train, on this bus, owe you the seat. In a different world, in a different time, you wouldn't even have to ask. You wouldn't have to make a spectacle out of it. You're correct. In a different time, it would be, quote unquote, less of a man of me, not manly of me, to watch you standing and not offer you my seat, not insist that you sit. We no longer live in that era anymore, because you ladies don't want to live in that era anymore. That era wasn't just men giving because it was the manly thing to do. It was a dance. The women were supposed to be, air quotes, supposed to be kinder, smiles, good day, how do you do, have a great day, how's your day? Huh? Good morning. In that era, yes, you get men who are raised and socialized different. Those are the men who would offer their seat up. Wait for it, because the women were kinder, more pleasant, and ladylike. You don't get gentlemen in an era where the women aren't ladylike, where the women curse like sailors, if not worse, where the women are vulgar, where the women are mean, where the women show too much skin. Ooh, goddamn, Z, not the clothes. Once again, ladies, if you're doing half-ass social math, that's a you problem. That's a your problem. Huh? And Joe says, feminism meets malicious compliance. Hey, if the ladies have to learn the difficult way what the other part of the equation is, well, ladies, it would behoove you to badger your parents, definitely your mothers, your female instructors, professors, teachers, quote unquote leaders, to be honest with you about what feminism cost, what female empowerment, female autonomy cost, the financial cost, the physical cost to women. What does it cost? Because what it's looking like is no one told y'all what it cost. And the men don't have to tell you. The men are just going to live their lives. Huh? The men don't owe you being attractive to you. Where's that coming from, Z? Well,
I hate dating as a woman in tech because if I try to date a guy in tech, they're typically really ugly and they have a whole bunch of nerdy interests that I can't relate to. There's some types of guys who work in tech who are attractive and we might have the same interests, but they think they are too smart and they are really full of themselves, and I don't like dating that type of guy either. If I try to date someone who doesn't work in tech, but they aren't a high earner, they end up feeling too insecure and they aren't able to afford the type of things that I can, like fine dining and traveling. So dating as a woman in tech is not for the weak. If you are a woman in tech, let me know if you have had some good or bad dating experiences.
To the Richard Reeves of the world and the Scott Galloways of the world, we don't owe this lady being attractive to her and appealing to her. If she has found herself in a weird position, a pincer move, where the tech guys are too nerdy and boring and lame, and the guys outside of tech don't earn enough, and to them she's the boring, lame, nerdy one, that's a her problem. The reason why I played this, young lady, is because this is at scale. This is not just tech black woman with dreads in a gap. All right. Women, particularly black women, but women who are doing okay-ish, better than okay-ish in their life financially, especially if it's not in some type of creatives, they're not actors or actresses, social media pundits or talkers or content creators. We're talking about 9-to-5 folks that earn really good money or have their own business. They earn really good money and they're everyday women. Yeah, they find themselves in this position. That's a you problem. To Dr. Richard Reeves and to Professor Galloway, we don't owe them. We're not overproducing for them. This is a her problem that she ain't do the social math. Madam, you're in tech. You might be making some 100 and some odd $200,000 a year. That's a you problem. And you look young enough. That's a you problem. And you're a black woman. Well, oh, you're a black woman in tech. I'm not gonna get on her looks. You're a black woman in tech making pretty good money. That means you could sustain yourself financially. That's great. Huh? But we live in America, so I know your DMs in your phone are dry because you're a black woman in tech. The white dudes around you ain't checking. I know they not. The Asian guys, South Asian and East Asian in tech not checking. I know they not. The black men that might give you some play you feel can't afford you. And they might not find you interesting or, quite frankly, physically attractive enough to expend that type of energy anyway. And here you are in the wilderness. Not financially, you're probably doing pretty damn well financially, but you're in the wilderness relationally. Oops. That indeed it is. It is cold. It is cold. Feminism meets malicious compliance, Joe says. This young lady apparently didn't get the memo. She's going to have to love herself and care for herself and find hobbies and find girlfriends that they can go out and do happy hour and go out of town together and travel the world together. Huh? And she should be happy with herself, and she should maybe it's be okay if a man elevates me. That's how you should be talking, madam, like all the rest of them lame ass women. That we don't believe nothing coming out their mouth. Except, ooh, you know what, Z, we gonna leave that one alone. Anyway, we don't believe anything coming out their mouth. No words. I wouldn't mind being in a relationship, but he has to be a man that elevates me and edifies me, and he has to do better than me and all that talk. That's how you should be speaking, madam. Huh? But once again, this is a you problem. Nothing wrong with it. You went to school, you did the right things, you're in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That's great. You're in tech. You're making good money. You can afford to sustain yourself. This is all great. But there's a cost to it, though. And the cost may not be financial. Well, damn, your problem. Play it again, Z.
I hate dating as a woman in tech because if I try to date a guy in tech, they're typically really ugly and they have a whole bunch of nerdy interests I can't relate to. There's some types of guys who work in tech who are attractive and we might have the same interests, but they think they are too smart and they are really full of themselves, and I don't like dating that type of guy either. If I try to date someone who doesn't work in tech, but they aren't a high earner, they end up feeling too insecure and they aren't able to afford the type of things that I can, like fine dining and traveling. So dating as a woman in tech is not for the weak. If you are a woman in tech, let me know if you have had some good or bad dating experiences.
Ah, man. Mr. Z, we go look at the crystal ball real quick. Mr. Z sees her ending up with an everyday dweeby white dude in the next few years, and they gonna get married, and yeah. She gonna be all right, y'all. She gonna end up with one of these dweeby ass white dudes eventually. Huh? Possibly a black man. Maybe. Possibly a South Asian. Maybe. Possibly. More than likely not, but it's possible. My bets are dweeby white dude. The same dweeby white dude she's not interested in, dweeby white dude. She gonna succumb. She gonna end up with the dweeby white dude. It's possible she end up with a tech brother. Possible. Probably African. Goddamn, Z, you mean? I know. Damn, Z, I said it. But more than likely, dweeby white dude. The same one she not interested in right now. Eventually, she gonna succumb. She gonna go. Huh? This is my point, Lion. Her looks match, maybe even a step below her, looks match white man. And Lion says, white man who looks just like her. Her looks match white dude. Huh? Her looks match white dude. Yeah. All that talk. Look, she going. She gonna end up with and notice Mr. Z didn't say nerd. And it's very possible she gonna earn more than him. This is the cost of your feminism, ladies. It's not the men's fault that you are not doing the social math. That you're doing half the social math. That you're doing half-ass social math. Huh? And once again, Joes, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat, when MGTOW, men going their own way, appears that women would have a fit when a single heterosexual man makes more than a woman, having activities, and somehow they hate women on economic purposes without actual proof. Let me see. Let me read this again. When MGTOW appears, women have a fit when a single heterosexual man makes more than a woman, having activities, and somehow they hate women on economic purposes without actual proof. I'm lost, Detroit. You're going to have to reword this. I'm trying to make sense of it, Detroit. Detroit, stop texting while you're driving. Damn 18-wheeler. I need clarification, Detroit. I need clarification. We're going to move on for a second. I need the words to be reorganized. Reframe that. Reframe that. Rephrase that. Please and thank you. You don't have to make it a super chat, bro. We're going to move on until you fix it because I don't understand. And it could be me, though. It could be me. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat, society can't afford 8-ish women. You can be a overproductive yitch. Yitches gotta pay. You can be an 8-ish yitch muse. Men love inspiration, but we can't afford both. Pick a struggle, ladies. Struggle. Look at Mr. Z. Mispronouncing struggle when I'm actually trying to pronounce it the right way. Pick a struggle, ladies. Yes. Yeah, well, that's where we are now. And I didn't bring it up. I should have brought it up. You know, and shout out to Louis, and I'm gonna have to bring that up again so I could play it. When Kim Foster was on that Clubhouse and she was asked explicitly about gendered pleasures, and I might be saying the term wrong, but y'all get it. And whether men and women would have to give up gendered pleasures for this equality. And she essentially said no. Excuse me. And that's after her reading Dr. Sabrina String's book, The Myth of Romance book. And I know in that book, Dr. Sabrina String stressed that that romance thing is over if y'all want equality. And yet Kim Foster got there on Clubhouse and said to that young man, no, I don't think we're going to have to give up gendered pleasures. You damn right y'all will. Huh? Ladies, if you want your freedom, your liberation, and not have to play a ladylike role, if you want to live in a world where you don't defer to the man because he's a man, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're going to have to eat everything that comes with that. The issue that we're having is that the ladies are not doing it. If you want to know why your sons are defecating on feminism, why you're having under the age of 30 men be more adversarial towards feminism than their 60-some-odd-year-old fathers and grandfathers, if you want to know, it's because they're living through women's hypocrisy outright. They're watching women have one foot in female empowerment while having one foot in what a man is supposed to do to be a man. Said differently, patriarchy by feminist specifications. And as KMS is expressing here, you can't have both, and you definitely can't have both simultaneously, which is what the women are attempting to do. Huh? Ladies, you can't have both. As KMS says, pick a struggle. You cannot have patriarchy by feminist specifications. I want a man that's a protector and a provider. I just want him to protect, provide, and shut up. Nope. Absolutely not. That's why I spammed this goddamn clip.
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Huh? That's why I played this clip, because this is what the ladies, once again, because they're doing half-ass math, half the social math. Now I'm going to play this, and the lady is speaking about black men and black women specifically, but no, Western women have a problem here. Their freedom, their liberation from men cost them too much, and the vast majority of them can't afford their own life. They can't afford what it costs them, both financially and not financially, what it costs them to be quote unquote free and liberated. They can't afford it. So they're attempting to badger the men to overproduce and to subsidize them, whether you're getting the vagina or not. And that's what informs this type of mentality.
What if black women were supposed to be the leaders and black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
Huh? And thank you for the super chat, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. We're not going, ladies. That's a you problem. Huh? And once again, KMS says, society can't afford ain't-ish women. You can be an overproductive yitch. Yitches gotta pay. Right? You can be a ain't-ish yitch muse. Men love it. Men love inspiration, but we can't afford both. Pick a struggle. Yeah, right. You can be an ain't-ish muse. Yes. Men love inspiration. You could be an ain't-ish muse. You could be even worse than a stay-at-home wife and mother. You can just do nothing, but what's the inspiration? I've been saying this for a little while. This society truly is trying to badger and break the spirit and the will of the men. They've produced some of the most insufferable, combative, antagonistic, aggressive women the world has ever known. And yet, they're attempting to break the will of the men to pay for these antagonistic women. What women see feminism as is completely adversarial to men and masculinity. And yet men are supposed to rise above this woman's antagonistic spirit, her Jezebel spirit, her mean, snarky, rude, sassy, combative, hyper-consumer, materialistic, entitled spirit, and prove himself. And every day he should be willing to risk divorce, alimony, child support. Every day is a gamble. And he's supposed to commit himself to a woman or two women in aggregate if he never gets married or have children, because he is a quote unquote man. The same manhood that is challenged on a daily basis by ain't-ish women who don't produce a quarter of what this individual man produces. The same women who productivity by the end of life wouldn't equal half of as much as this man has produced are told by this woman, the men are told by women how valuable the women who don't produce half as much as the men, how important the women are. Oh, you gotta love it. Because what's a man, right?
If men should masturbate to fill their sexual needs, why don't women read romance novels to fill their romantic needs?
A lot of times women do, but like I said, a woman shouldn't have to do anything. A woman should be attended to, like, without saying.
I feel like it's different. Lust and romance don't always go hand in hand. They don't always correlate. I think men tend to be more lustful while women search for romance. And I feel like they're filled in different ways that a book can't compared to a man with lust.
Why should men have any obligations to fill women's emotional needs if women don't feel any obligation to fill men's physical needs?
Because once again, who is a man? Nobody.
Once again, who is a man? Nobody. It sounds good. It sounds empowering to jab your thumb in men's eye, to mock and make fun of men, to tell men they have no worth, no value. It sounds good and it sounds empowering. To all the technocrats, I want you to appreciate your sons are watching. They're not doing nothing for this wannabe sexy red ass chick. Huh? We will see this young lady in a decade, nothing. 2 decades, nothing. I'm willing to put money on it. I'll put 5,000 on it. Goddamn, Z. I'll put 5 grand on it. Wedding ring, highly doubt. Children born within wedlock, all the children, doubt it. Huh? Lifetime long marriage, not gonna happen. I'll put 5 racks on it. And I'll give it a decade. Huh? Anybody want to bet, Z? Trell, you see me? Trell says, I got 5 on it. Anyone who wants to bet, Z, we will check back on this lady in a decade. Probably no man. Maybe children, maybe not. If children not born in wedlock, I'm willing to put money on it. I'll put 5 on it. Huh? What's a man? Who's a man? Nobody? Sounds good because it sounds empowering. To all the technocrats, your daughters aren't just speaking like this to speak like this. This is the way they're speaking is the way feminism has hit their ears and their minds, their sentiments, and this is what it actually is. She's only expressing to you what feminism actually is. Miss me with the no, she's misinterpreting it and she don't understand it. That's not what we really mean. Nope, she's saying exactly what it is. She just doesn't have the discipline to not say it. Huh? Oh man. Huh? You gotta love it. And Compassionate says, Harvard grad that can't predict second and third order effects downstream seems unlikely. Kim's either somehow stupid or grifting hate prawn. Either way, I have to revoke her black card officially. Look, she's grifting, but I think she hopes against all hope. She's not dumb, right? She's not dumb. Somewhere is KMS shaking his hand like Dr. Doom. She's stupid, Z. She's not dumb. One, I think she's hoping against all hope that she's on the right side of history on this. But secondly, I do think she's grifting. I'm not saying that she responded back to me, although I think she did. That's why I think she said, you know, these gender warring is for trash people and it's trash and this trash. She put that out after I did that stream some months ago, showing her speaking about Brittany Renner and emphasizing her facial expression, her annoyance that Brittany Renner said, you know what? Yeah, what the man think does matter. You can't have a world where men are made to care about what women think, even if it's for carnal reasons, primal reasons, like getting the vagina. But they at least have to feign like they care what women think. Men have to at least feign to care what women think. And that's if they're pretending. Men have to care what women think to be appealing and attractive to at least one woman. Women, on the other hand, are allowed to, and quite frankly, push to be antagonistic to men and then turn around and act like they don't understand why men are more and more, well, more recluse, not approaching women, not instigating any type of conversation that might turn into something sexual, something romantic with women. Huh? Miss Foster comes from that line of thinking. We could dismiss men, we can minimize what they're talking about, how they feel. We can insult them, we can insult their manhood and masculinity and say it's all performative, it's fake, it's not real. Why don't you be more like me? Except if you're more like me, then it's a complete and total turnoff. Right? Miss Foster comes from that line of thinking. And so I think a lot of it is grifting, but no, I think she believes some of this. The grifting comes from when she is confronted with a real question. Do you think we could still enjoy the gendered pleasures? And she says, essentially, yes. When the answer provided by Dr. Sabrina Strings is no. Dr. Sabrina Strings has been on multiple interviews where she says this. Now, she's a little annoyed because she feels like the men are railing back gentlemanly-like behavior out of spite. I disagree with that, but even if she was right, and the problem is you don't get gentlemen if you're not ladies. Who define what ladies are? The men, and well, older women do, actually. But Dr. Sabrina Strings has been very clear about this. We know Kim Foster read the book, but she mentioned that she's reading the book. That means she read the book and either ignored what Dr. Sabrina Strings is saying, or she lied, which means, as Compassion is saying, she's grifting. Huh? Well, damn. And Jamar says, thinks she'll pull a Paris Milan? Hey, we haven't heard from her in a little bit. She could be engaged right now for all we know. Huh? Homegirl done had surgery. You see her hair is fried, dyed, and laid to the side. She used to be out here with the mini wannabe dreads. Used to have the big ass glasses, the acne on her face. Now she done quote unquote glammed up. I know y'all gonna still give her a low number. That's not the point. She got her a man. She done quote unquote glammed up. Better use is who had surgery? Oh yeah, Miss Foster had surgery. What they not injectables, what they call them? It's like the little Botox injections in her forehead, under her arm. She admits this. I'm not saying she admitted this straight out. Huh? KMS, you ain't ish. KMS is designer Diglett, hysterical. Oh yeah, better use. She had surgery. She had surgery. And the reason why that matters is, and she admits it, as much as she combats these things, even she too has to succumb to certain type of beauty ideals. She admits that those might not have been her exact words, but that was the sentiment. This is essentially what she said, paraphrasing. Huh? Paraphrasing. But you damn right, Miss Foster, because when men say does matter, you'll never get away from this. You know what? Let Z take that back. Y'all get away from it when we can produce babies in a bio bag and produce our own designer babies. When the men no longer need the women, then the women will be free to do whatever the hell y'all want without caring what the men think and say. Because what the men think and say, they can just design the children in the bio bag to look how they want them to look. The men can have children without the women. That's when you'll see a rise in single dads, I would argue. But as long as what men say and think matters, because it's going to matter, because the women huddle up primarily on the top 20% of men, that's who they end up with, or that's who they aspire for. You damn right, Miss Foster, what the men think does matter. Imagine living in a country with 340 some odd million people and thinking you truly free and liberated and you have autonomy. What drugs? Imagine living on the planet with 8+ billion people and thinking you truly free and have autonomy to do whatever the hell you want. Imagine working a 9 to 5 and paying taxes, huh? And thinking you could just do whatever the hell you want while you paying student loans, paying credit card bills, but you think you could do whatever you want. Everything about your life is showing you can't just do whatever you want. Huh? Better you says, when did she have this surgery? She looked the same to me. She mentioned this a little while ago. I want to say over a year ago. She might have had the little I don't know. She didn't call it injectables. That's what I keep on calling it. She called it something else. My lady told me what it's called, what she called it again. I forgot what it's called, but it's not injectables. It's something else that she called it. But yeah, it's little Botox injections. It's not a super invasive surgery. It's not like the life altering, type of thing where she had to go under and stuff like that. It's not all of that. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. No, not lip fillers. Not lip fillers. Because it was, I think she said in her forehead. I want to say she said that, something like that. And her underarm. Yeah. You damn right. And let me see if Detroit ever told me. I'm just reading to see if Detroit gave me what he meant to say. And he says, these women are mad. I know what you're trying to say. These women are mad because men aren't slaves to women anymore. Well, yes. Essentially labor slaves, wage slaves, right? To subsidize women. And that drives women and, quite frankly, the elites mad. Because where's the money going to come from? Where's the children going to come from? Where's the future tax base going to come from? That's a real question. Huh? Where's all of that going to come from? That's the question. Huh? I'm just looking to see what else Detroit got here. Give me a second, y'all. Okay, he said, I'm framing as why the women so surprised about men has his own income but not giving the attention to her. Better yet, why women are upset. Okay, I get what you're saying. They're upset because the assumption is that a woman was supposed to be able to do whatever she wanted to do because she wanted to do it, and you were supposed to subsidize her. You were supposed to backstop all of her ideas financially. You were supposed to be there physically. Huh? There's a reason why I keep on spamming the same damn dread lady. Play it again, Z.
What if black women were supposed to be the leaders and black men are just supposed to protect with their muscles and use their listening ears and carry out instructions?
Like, I knew it.
There's a reason why I keep on spamming that. Because that is what the ladies thought feminism meant. Because that's what feminism meant. Ooh, goddamn. They're hating that actually when they liberated themselves from caring what men thought, said, felt, which they really didn't liberate themselves, but fine. They didn't appreciate they inadvertently liberated the men also. And that wasn't supposed to happen. The men were still supposed to be obligated to women and children, even women and children that weren't his. Huh? The men are supposed to overproduce for all the single mothers. And I'm not even saying his girlfriend who's a single mother. I'm saying random single mothers. Single men that are unattached are supposed to overproduce so the society can use that tax money to send to those single mothers. Huh? Your Section 8s, your welfare and WIC. Huh? The men with families are still supposed to overproduce for his family, and so that we could take some of those tax dollars and send to, well, the elderly, the retired folks, of course, people with physical disabilities and mental disabilities, of course, and to women and people, because let's be clear, Walmart and some of these companies who we're subsidizing on the back end because they pay their employees so little that those of us who are actually getting real tax money taken out of our check, we're paying for Walmart to pay their employees peanuts. And, because we're not done yet, the single mothers, your free or reduced lunch, where that money coming from? Tax dollars. Yes, you're paying for the 7-year-old. For all of us men, single men, or men without children, yes, your tax dollars are going to pay for the free or reduced lunch, which is probably from a child from an unwed mother. More than likely. Huh? Oh, man. And Arsenal says facts. Less black men are getting married, and the ones that do are marrying out more. Double whammy. Yes. Yes. You damn right. To black women in specific, if you say you want your autonomy, you want your liberation, white men do it better, white men are better, appreciate the men are going to make you mean that. And it's not even going to necessarily be out of spite or resentment. They're just going to move accordingly. If you want to be mean and an asshole, the men see that. The married men to black wives see that. Continuing.
So I'm going to preface this by saying, like, I understand history, I understand all of that, but to me, it still doesn't excuse the behavior. I think it gets to a certain point in life where you have to just be like, I'm going to be a better person for me. I'm going to be nice. Black women are mean as fuck. Like, the meanest demographic of people that I come across in a day-to-day basis. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that will agree. Like, mean as a motherfucker. You go to the grocery store, mean attitude. You go to, if they working in retail, mean attitude. You go to fucking Ulta to buy face products. My wife just dealt with this the other day. Matter of fact, she called me. She was like, babe, I see what you was saying. The lady in Ulta gave me such a hard time over a coupon. Black women are so fucking mean. And I'm married to a black woman, so I understand what it is that y'all be going through on a day-to-day basis. But to me, it's like every day, bro. Every day to just be that fucking mean. It gets to a point where you gotta be like, I'm gonna be nice. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be nice? Do you want? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. And I can understand why, it's not for me. Of course, I'm married to a black woman, but I can understand why some men would be like, some black men would be like, I don't want to deal with that. Because women that aren't, that I'm not even with intimately, I'm talking about mean as a motherfucker. Bro, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And to me, I just be so fucking flabbergasted. I'm like, bro, what did I do to you? I literally just came to your job, your place of employment to seek help, something that you're supposed to be giving to me. And I'm getting an attitude for no reason.
Appreciate this. This is a black man supposedly married to a black woman saying this. We've heard white folks say this. We've heard non-black people of color say this. We've heard even other black women say this. Black women and their customer service. Black women and their attitude at their place of employment. Black women, let me say the Kevin Samuels line for the 1 zillionth time. The world doesn't owe you understanding. Y'all are mean, rude, smug, sassy. And yeah, it may not be fair because Becky is a little sassy too. Yeah, it may not be fair because Marisol or Consuela is a little sassy too. I get it. It's not fair because when Consuela is sassy, it's just seen as her being spicy. I get it. I get it. But the world isn't fair, ladies. And I hate that term too, but the world isn't fair. With that, your sass knows no bounds. It's not only because you're black that everyone's pointing it out. It's because you're overly sassy and it's overrepresented in black women, particularly black women in places where people frequent. Everything from the DMV to fast food to retail. These are places where people frequent. Huh? And people frequent these places and they're hit with 10 tons of black female swag, unwarranted. I said swag, sorry. 10 tons of black female sass, unwarranted sass, unwarranted snarky, unwarranted mean. This young man is telling you y'all are just mean. And particularly the black men, you ain't seen mean until you see black women talking to black men. Huh? And that's everything from professional black women to black women in retail to black women working for local state government. They're just mean, in particular to black men. They do a mix of mommying black men and being condescending to black men in their place of employment. And they can't help it. They could try to hide behind familiarity all they want. No, you're just mean, lady. Particularly to black men. And I'm going to tell y'all what's going to happen, particularly with these younger black men, especially with these children or grandchildren of immigrants. They just going to start calling y'all bosses on y'all. Dear black women, don't say nothing when these black men just start pulling Karen on you. I said it. Y'all heard it here first. I said it and you heard it here first. I'm telling you now, as the black community becomes more and more fractured, don't be surprised when these black men just start calling y'all bosses on y'all. We already know non-black people doing it to you. Black men, black boys are just going to start calling y'all bosses or the higher-ups on y'all. They just going to start kicking it up the chain of command. All that familiarity and you kind of give her a pass because she's black and you black and you just kind of deal with her attitude and her sass and her snarkiness. Huh? I'm letting y'all know now. Y'all hearing it here first. As the black community becomes more fractured, dear black women, you not going to be the only one acting like you not black and being an asshole to black men, calling the authorities on black men for minor infractions, if even an infraction. I'm letting you know now. These young men, especially the ones that don't feel no connection to the black community, they grew up in the suburbs around a bunch of white folks, huh? Their children, grandchildren are immigrants. They family were professionals. They never really been around black people like that. I'm letting y'all know now, those men, those young men, some of them ADOS, many of them not. I'm letting y'all know now, they're going to start calling y'all bosses on y'all. They're going to start playing Karen on y'all. Y'all heard it here first. Huh? Y'all keep on being mean to black men because you can't control your temper and your emotions and you still mad at a baby daddy about something stupid. Huh? Or you just used to talking to black men like this, even in your place of employment? Because you talk to your son like this, and your nephew like this, and your boyfriend like this, your baby daddy like this, maybe your own father like this? Well, damn. Huh? I'm letting y'all know now. Y'all gonna keep on pulling this? Get ready. I'm telling you now, these young black men, they're gonna start calling your bosses on you. They're gonna start kicking it up the chain of command on your ass. Don't come on the internet saying, you know, I got fired today because some black man, I thought we was black. How y'all gonna do that to us? I'm telling y'all now, that mean, snarky crap y'all pulling and expect black men to eat it because we all black? A way that, yeah, you might be sassy and snarky with the white folks, but not sassy and snarky the way you are with black men. Black men not gonna just keep on giving y'all that discount, huh? That lookout just because you black. I'm letting y'all know now. If the black community is becoming more fractured and black women keep on pulling Karen on black men, I see y'all suburban ass black women acting like you white. I see y'all. Appreciate that. That road go two ways. So when you start catching attitude with these young black men, they go start responding by not going back and forth with you, calling your boss, asking to speak to a manager, and they're not going to ask you. They're going to go to the nearest non-black person and ask to speak to a manager and start telling on y'all like they're Karen. I'm letting y'all know now. Mr. Z's putting this out here now so that when the videos start to come out from the men that are calling the bosses on black women and the black women who got let go, who got reprimanded, who got written up, nobody say, oh, where this came from. I'm letting y'all know now. To all you therapists talking crazy to black men on the internet, yeah, remember that from a couple years ago? Huh? All you professionals, all you teachers, oops, talking crazy about your black male students, when their black fathers start telling principals, huh, and deans of school, huh, and superintendents, hey, y'all got this teacher at this school and she talking crazy about black boys. My son is in her class. Huh? My son was in her class last year. No wonder he was only getting C's. No wonder she gave him a D. When y'all start getting that to all you black female teachers who think you slick, huh? To all you black female prosecutors, y'all keep on talking like this crazy to black men. Y'all get it on the internet showing how much spite and anger you have for black men, all the resentment. I just want y'all to know, black men are going to start filing complaints on y'all asses. If everybody want to be Karen in America, fine. Who else is a bigger victim in America than black men? When black men start catching y'all screenshotting your words, sending it to your bosses, all the crap y'all talking on TikTok and on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, when black men start, oh, I know who that is, start screenshotting your comments, huh? I just want y'all to appreciate, when black men start moving like Karen, everybody gonna feel that. Not just black women, everybody gonna feel that. And America gonna have a choice to make. Either we gonna minimize and discount what black men are saying, which inadvertently is gonna minimize and discount what everybody's saying, or we gonna have to take black men legitimately. And hey, if it's a Prussian Olympics, black men got the gold medal and the silver and the bronze. Huh? America gonna have a choice to make. Dear black women, y'all want to kick it off? Fine then. When black men start responding in kind to y'all mean, snarky asses, your rude asses, your dismissive, minimizing asses, don't be surprised. Play the video, Ginzy.
So I'm going to preface this by saying, like, I understand history, I understand all of that, but to me, it still doesn't excuse the behavior. I think it gets to a certain point in life where you have to just be like, I'm going to be a better person for me. I'm going to be nice. Black women are mean as fuck. Like, the meanest demographic of people that I come across in a day-to-day basis. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that will agree. Like, mean as a motherfucker. You go to the grocery store, mean attitude. You go to, if they working in retail, mean attitude. You go to fucking Ulta to buy face products. My wife just dealt with this the other day. Matter of fact, she called me. She was like, babe, I see what you was saying. The lady in Ulta gave me such a hard time over a coupon. Black women are so fucking mean. And I'm married to a black woman, so I understand what it is that y'all be going through on a day-to-day basis. But to me, it's like every day, bro. Every day to just be that fucking mean. It gets to a point where you gotta be like, I'm gonna be nice. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be nice? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. And I can understand why, it's not for me. Of course, I'm married to a black woman, but I can understand why some men would be like, some black men would be like, I don't want to deal with that. Because women that aren't, that I'm not even with intimately, I'm talking about mean as a motherfucker. Bro, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And to me, I just be so fucking flabbergasted. I'm like, bro, what did I do to you? I literally just came to your job, your place of employment to seek help, something that you're supposed to be giving to me. And I'm getting an attitude for no reason.
And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And KMS says, so you're gonna be ain't ish and a yitch, ho, starve. Men featuring society. Men featuring society. I mean, the men are saying that without saying that. The masses of men, once again, the masses of men don't consume any manosphere, black manosphere content. But the men are saying that through action because the women are just insufferable. That is why I started off with the stream with emphasizing how the men have internalized feminism, female empowerment, female liberation from what men think and feel. They see it as carte blanche to be antagonistic and mean and assholes to men. And so the men are going to respond. And the way the men are going to respond in mass is not to necessarily be, not to assault women or be physically combative. We'll say that. Y'all know what Mr. Z is trying to say. No, the men are just going to remove themselves. And whatever happened to your average woman happened to her. Huh? Whatever happened to your average woman is going to happen to her. Whether it's at the hands of another man, if it's at the hands of a woman, another woman, whether it's some freak accident or weird stuff, let Mr. Z emphasize this again. You cannot maintain a community like this. You cannot maintain a society like this, where everybody's just doing whatever they want to do. And when someone is in a moment of need or in dire straits, everybody's just looking around, not paying attention, or saw what happened, but don't want to get involved. You can't maintain a society like that. Not a cohesive one anyway. And you definitely can't battle against certain forces, we'll say, when the masses are just so self-absorbed, self-interested, and selfish. You can't do that. With that, the women kicked this off with all of that autonomy talk. Huh? All of that antagonistic autonomy talk. That's how you get here. And thank you for the super chat, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. As the brother said, just mean. And Better Use says, I'm on Kim's IG page. I'll say she's an average large lady. It seems she's found her quote unquote look over the years. Not being mean, but I'm seeing no difference. She needs to get that money back. Hysterical. And I think others said that in the comments also. She's not big though. I think she's one of those women who's short. I think she's like 5'2" or something, real short, right? She's short and but she's not really heavy. It's just she don't really have curves like that. She thinks she do, but she really don't. And she's like maybe a little bit boxy. I don't think she's actually like overweight like that, right? I just think like she's in the South. We say bad built. I'm not gonna. I gotta see her in person. It would have to be a situation where you see her in person. I don't think she's heavy set though. I just don't think she don't have the look that maybe many men would go for. We'll say that. Many black men, quite frankly, even white men will go for. and that's okay. I notice I don't really be going in on women's looks, particularly black women's looks. I like to stick to the ideas. I know what informs their resentment and anger more than half the time. We know what it is, but that's too on the nose. No pun. That's obvious to us, at least. The women are going to minimize it and act like what's fueling much of the rhetoric coming from certain women, certain black women in particular, but certain women, is that they're not desirable by the men they desire. We know that's a thing. The society, other women are always minimizing that. They're always going to minimize it because men are the ones that fall prey to their carnal desires, and men are the ones who care about a woman's physical attributes. Women, on the other hand, aren't. As long as you're okay enough physically, they don't care about anything else. They care about your personality and your kindness and your income and money and status and all that stuff. They don't care about the physique as much as men do. And it's a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of crap. And what you got to love about how the divestors talk is when the divestors are defecating on men, what do they emphasize? The men spend their money with these white women and these Latinas. They're marrying non-black women and they marry these exoticals and all these tall, rich men. And they'll say it, right? The good-looking men, the rich men, the charismatic men. Who gets to enjoy it? Non-black women. They're showing you that they're not as above it as the society would like to make it seem, that women aren't above their carnal nature as much as the society likes to make it seem. What you gotta love about the smut books and the all of the prawn that women watch and the way women in women's comments, the way they were gushing literally sometimes over Anthony Joshua, or the way they were speaking about what's the brother's name? I said brother's name. What's the white dude's name? The one that shot the healthcare dude. Oh, I forgot his name. But the way they were speaking about him, that lets you know that women care about looks also. Huh? So that matters. I'm Waffles, kind of like that. That's what I envision her being. She not necessarily big, just kind of square. And I'm Waffles says Latina refrigerated built. Hysterical. Luigi, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you, Tro. Luigi, yeah. Like the way the women were gushing over Luigi, the way they were gushing over Anthony Joshua, that lets you know. Like, and yes, I saw the video. And by the way, I've been keeping up. I've been watching our stuff. I caught Art New Style stream from Tuesday. I've been listening to just because y'all don't see me, making comments and stuff and whatnot. I'm catching some of these stuff live, some of them on replay. So just make sure we say that. But yeah, I saw the video of Anthony Joshua standing next to Mayweather, and I saw how the women were reacting to Anthony Joshua and how they were reacting to Mayweather. Of course. We shout out to black men. We see this with Chris Brown. It's just our society likes to act like, no, men do this. Women don't do this. Especially women with money and status and women who love themselves and women who are doing well financially, right? See, the women that are drooling over Chris Brown are the women who, they're not doing well financially and they're looking for a come up financially. They're not just in awe of Chris Brown's look and his physique and whatever. Same thing with Anthony Joshua. Same thing when women were going back and forth about Anthony Majors. I said Anthony Majors, sorry. Jonathan Majors. I said Anthony Majors. My bad, y'all. Jonathan Majors. The same way when the ladies were going back and forth on whether he's attractive or not, the women that found him attractive, listen to how they spoke about him. Listen to how women speak about what's the brother's name? Michael B. Jordan. I couldn't get it out. Yeah, including what's that white feminist lady name? The very unattractive one. I forgot her name. And she was speaking about she was going to go to some gala, some whatever event, and she was going to see Jonathan. Wrong person, not Jonathan Majors. Michael B. Jordan there, and she was going to grind on him and whatnot. This is how the ladies talk about men, but we minimize it because we act like women know how to subdue their carnal natures if they even have it in the first place. And it's a bunch of crap. Yeah. Yeah. What's that feminist name again? The white feminist. I think she was writer of a series. I forgot this lady name. Huh? White feminist. She was all the rage in the 2010s. I forgot this lady name. But yeah, she was the one that was talking about grinding on Michael B. Jordan and all this other stuff. Once again, women are human beings too. And women care about looks also, right? Something that our society likes to minimize, right? And women look in the mirror and they dissect themselves because there's always an ideal look, not just designed by men, but by women. And as much as women want to do the whole all women are beautiful crap, they know it's a bunch of bull. You know how they know it's a bunch of bull? When we walk into the club and the men are wanting to really talk to maybe 40% of the women, that other 60, men are willing to maybe date the, well, men will have sex with the bottom, I mean, the top 80% of women, really, really top 70% of women. But the preferred women, the women know who that is. It's an agreement with all women that if we say we're all attractive in our own way, then that'll somehow Jedi mind trick all the women that are under a 5. It'll Jedi mind trick all the men to consider all the other women that are under a 5. And when it don't work out when we're in the club, when it doesn't work out when we're in the bar, that's when the women, when the facade is cracked, the women lose their minds. The women under a 5 lose their minds because it's not fair. Because now the lie and the facade has been broken. See, on a day-to-day basis, they can lie to themselves, and the attractive women will lie with them. We're all pretty, girl. Ooh, girl, you did that. Ooh, girl, I see you in that dress. Ooh, girl, I see you in them heels. Huh? We're all bad yitches, all of us. But when we're in the club and the men get to choose and the men are slightly inebriated so they don't have the discipline to pretend, the facade comes crashing down. That is why Miss Foster got that damn surgery. Huh? Because you can only talk about your Harvard degree so much. That Harvard degree don't mean nothing when we're in the club, when we're in the bar. Huh? When you're at a social event. When I say club, bar, I'm just talking about any social event where many people gather and where there are men who you would find attractive or who you do find attractive, that those men are there. Huh? Well, damn. And better you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And KMS says, pick a struggle, black women. You either gonna be ain't-ish or a yitch. Not both. Ain't-ish equal compliance. Yitch equal you gotta pay or starve. And that's all it is. And that's all it is. Right? KMS, the ladies want all of it and they want you to subsidize them. They want to be a yitch when they want to be. They want to be mean when they want to be. Right? They want to be ain't-ish when they want to be. This is the thing. The ladies want to be I am woman, hear me roar when they want to be. They want to be climbing up the corporate ladder, C-suite, corner office when they want to be. We're talking about the same woman. I'm not talking about different women. The same woman. Then she wants to be a stay-at-home girlfriend. I didn't say wife or mother yet. Stay-at-home girlfriend when she wants to be. Then she wants to be a stay-at-home mother when she wants to be. She wants to be a stay-at-home wife when she wants to be, or stay-at-home baby mama when she wants to be, because wife in the black community, stop it. Huh? Then she wants to go back to work if she wants to. If she wants to. Huh? She want to tell you she's not relying on you when she's relying on you when she wants to. She want to tell you I make my own money, I don't need no man when she wants to. Meanwhile, she's still being paid for, if not subsidized, if not paid for outright by a man. She want to tell you I don't need no man while you paying all the bills. The ladies want everything. Huh? Yennefer offered The Witcher for all of us that watch the series The Witcher on Netflix. Yennefer, what do you want? Everything. For all my folks that watched The Witcher, did Yennefer not say everything every time someone asked her what she wants? She says everything, because she's the perfect example of women, particularly modern women. What you want? Everything. Huh? They want everything. And that's where Anne-Marie Slaughter comes in.
As feminist women, we want to be equal. But if you say to us, yeah, but you know what? Male CEOs have full-time caregivers at home. Find me a male CEO who has a family, who has a wife or a partner, who is not the lead caregiver. I defy you to find me that person. So then you say to the same women, so if we want to be CEOs, yes, we're superhuman and all that stuff, but you know what? Actually, you can't really expect us to do 24/7 jobs any differently than the guys do. So if we're going to be there and we're going to be in those top positions, we need a lead caregiver at home, as I have. And my husband obviously has a full-time job, that's great, but he's the lead parent, because I could not be the lead breadwinner if he were not the lead parent. I simply couldn't. Somebody's got to be home. I mean, even at 15 and 17, actually, particularly at 15 and 17, somebody has to be home.
Yeah, right.
As we discovered, we saw The Doll's House last night, we came home, our 15-year-old had been home alone, somebody ought to be home. So,
The place was trash.
a bit. Pizza boxes, we won't go there. So then you say, okay, so you want to be the CEO or the president of the university or the surgeon or the scientist, or whatever. You've got to marry somebody who is willing to support you in the homework, the family work, in the way he's going to support you. Believe me, you're not going to be able to do what you want to do without him, but that's probably what you're going to have to do. And maybe you'll trade off, but he's going to have to do that part of the time. And at that point, many women get off the bus. They don't want to marry a guy like that. They don't think a guy like that is masculine. Indeed, the guys who do that, I know I'm in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn is the home of, Brooklyn gives the lie to all this. There are more stay-at-home dads here than probably anywhere else in the U.S., or work-from-home dads, or lead caregiver dads, or however you want to put it. But in most places in the U.S., those dads report that the women they engage with on the on the playground think they're a little odd. Do not think of them as a model of masculinity. We can't have it both ways, right? Just as I was told growing up, don't be too smart. You don't be too smart around a guy. He won't want you. Well, right, that vision of femininity had to change. It had to change. Guys had to think that women who were powerful and smart and competitive were attractive, because otherwise we couldn't do it. Well, you know what? We have to think that a guy who puts his family first, that a guy who says, no, I want to be the lead parent. I'm going to defer a promotion. I'm not going to be the most powerful guy out there. We have to say, you are a masculine, valued, wonderful man. And if we can't get there, we are not going to make this kind of change, because we've gotten as far as we can get without doing that. We've got 15% of unbelievable super women who get really lucky, right, or who have a lot of money, or who are just really superhuman, who manage to make it work, but we're not going to get further than that. So it's really about changing the way we think about it. It's not only, but a lot of it is about changing how we think about men and what we think a masculine, attractive guy is.
That is Anne-Marie Slaughter talking to women about how women see men. What Anne-Marie Slaughter isn't doing, that all you cowards do, is men act like this and perform like this because of the pressures of other men and because they're afraid of what other men think. And Anne-Marie Slaughter's like, no. I know women. Nope. Women are holding men to these standards. And it makes no sense because we fought for equality. Equality means that some of us are going to be the primary breadwinner. Ladies, that means that some of you ladies will be the primary breadwinner. And we can't hold that over the men's head. Uh-oh. We're going to have to see and consider men differently. Anne-Marie Slaughter's not allowing for women to make excuses here. Like a lot of you wayward-ass coward men, and just about all of you women, whenever y'all get into this part of the conversation, everybody start moonwalking. And Anne-Marie Slaughter right here says, yeah, no, ladies. See, when I start telling y'all what it's going to cost y'all to be these high-powered attorneys and all these professionals, y'all start jumping off the bus. Ebony K. Williams. Huh? When I start telling y'all what it's going to cost y'all start jumping off the bus. The same bus that y'all said the man should own because he can't be a bus driver. Huh? And thank you for the super chat, KMS. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? The reason why I play that clip, and shout out to Art of M More and shout out to BGS for introducing me to this clip, which I played more than both of them. Y'all be showing me these things. I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, that right there. I'm gonna probably play that more than you ever will. It's because Anne-Marie Slaughter didn't do what most professional technocrats, tastemakers, social designers do. Whenever we get to this part of the conversation, everybody looks at the men and start wagging their finger. You got to change the way you think about the women. You have to be okay with, you have to not be insecure because your wife earns more than you, or because she's more professional, or because she's white collar and you're blue collar. She has more upward mobility. That's what we always do. And Anne-Marie Slaughter says, actually, see, what had happened was when I start talking to the women about these dreams and aspirations, about climbing up that ladder, and I start telling them, okay, that's great. That's what you want to do. But your likeliness of getting that power couple situation is like 15%. You're probably not going to get that. So what Miss Anne-Marie Slaughter is saying to Ebony K. Williams is no. He may not own the bus. He might be the bus driver. And that's something you just going to have to accept. Or, well, like Ebony K. Williams did, just be single with your test tube baby. And no offense to the child. Appreciate, we talking about your mom. We're not making fun of you. Huh? Your mom could have brought you up in a completely different situation. But her gender warring spirit, her middle finger to the men spirit, couldn't let her bring you up in a better situation. You're not going to probably ever need for nothing financially. Huh? Apparently you're a little girl. If you take after your mom's looks, you're going to be an attractive woman. But your mom could have brought you up in a completely different situation. But to spite the men, she decided not to, because the men who earn good money like your mom and above were not interested because your mom's an asshole. I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this in the next 20 years, you know that your mom's an asshole. Don't go telling your mom she's an asshole. And the men who would gladly be with your mom, who earn less than her, she was not interested. Now, they might be blowing her back out. That's a whole different conversation. Hopefully you grown when you first hear this. Don't be young and hear this. Don't be under the age of 18 and hear this. Your mom wasn't interested. And that's okay. That's why you grew up the way you grew up. At least from what we could see so far. Huh? Well, damn. And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Detroit says, don't worry, just call 1-800-SNITCH on that yitch. Not including warranty guarantee. Look, I'm saying it's really a thing. Black women are way too comfortable talking to black men all type of crazy. Not just romantically, not just familially, but professionally. Black women are just too used to being mean to people and then expecting everyone to understand. I'm black plus woman and intersectionality and the way it is the world and the colorism and futurism and fat phobia and baby daddy not paying the bill. And they expect people to give them a pass on them being assholes. And if black women are assholes or generally mean to a bunch of folks, we can only imagine how mean they are to black men in specific. And we all have seen black women be kind to everyone but black men. Let's not pretend like that's not a thing. So as Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat, don't worry, just call 1-800 snitch on that yitch. Not including warranty guarantee. He said we can't include the warranty, but call 1-800 snitch on that yitch. Black women then got way too comfortable being mean. I'm just saying. Dear ladies, got way too comfortable being mean and assholes to black men. Black women, dear black women. Huh? And we go play our brother one more again talking about it. Continuing.
So I'm going to preface this by saying, like, I understand history, I understand all of that, but to me, it still doesn't excuse the behavior. I think it gets to a certain point in life where you have to just be like, I'm going to be a better person for me. I'm going to be nice. Black women are mean as fuck. Like, the meanest demographic of people that I come across in a day-to-day basis. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that will agree. Like, mean as a motherfucker. You go to the grocery store, mean attitude. You go to, if they working in retail, mean attitude. You go to fucking Ulta to buy face products. My wife just dealt with this the other day. Matter of fact, she called me. She was like, babe, I see what you was saying. The lady in Ulta gave me such a hard time over a coupon. Black women are so fucking mean. And I'm married to a black woman, so I understand what it is that y'all be going through on a day-to-day basis. But to me, it's like every day, bro. Every day to just be that fucking mean. It gets to a point where you gotta be like, I'm gonna be nice. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to be nice? Do you want? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. And I can understand why, you know, it's not for me. Of course, I'm married to a black woman, but I can understand why some men would be like, some black men would be like, I don't want to deal with that. Because women that aren't, that I'm not even with intimately, I'm talking about mean as a motherfucker. Bro, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And to me, I just be so fucking flabbergasted. I'm like, bro, what did I do to you? I literally just came to your job, your place of employment to seek help, something that you're supposed to be giving to me. And I'm getting an attitude for no reason.
Yep. Huh? Yep. And Joe says, and if y'all want, we'll revisit the Ebony K. Williams thing like it's a new topic. I could do that. We could do that sometime next week. We could revisit it. I'll do a stream on it. And we'll just revisit it because it's not really about her. We're having a larger conversation about the way women, particularly black women, view their success and then the way they view men, particularly black men, after achieving whatever monetary gain. So it's really, we're using Ebony K. Williams to have a larger conversation about professional black women who earn good money and more, right? Good money and above. So if y'all want, we can revisit the Ebony K. Williams conversation. I'll try to pull that next week. We'll see. And Joe says, when Iyanla Vanzant asked Ebony K, and Ebony answered, Iyanla called her wrong. But Iyanla was wrong, and thank you for the super chat once again, Joe's. Iyanla was wrong. This is what you fought for, Iyanla. I said it already, right? We went from Shahrazad Ali speaking to Iyanla Vanzant, and Iyanla Vanzant talking to Shahrazad Ali like she don't know what the hell Shahrazad Ali is talking about. Then we go from Iyanla Vanzant talking to Ebony K. Williams, right? All these women, we're trying to give a little bit of game. As much as we might disagree with some of them, just about all of them outside of Shahrazad Ali, you could see the line. And they always think that this other woman who we would still disagree with is wrong. It's fascinating. So going again, Shahrazad Ali tries to kick some game to Iyanla Vanzant. Iyanla Vanzant is like, lady, I don't know what you're talking about. Fast forward some 20 some odd 30 years later, Iyanla Vanzant trying to kick game to Ebony K. Williams. Ebony K. Williams is telling Iyanla Vanzant, lady, I don't know what you're talking about. Fast forward, was it even a year later? Ebony K. Williams is trying to kick some game to Lauren off of The Breakfast Club, and Lauren is talking to Ebony K. Williams like, I don't know what you're talking about. Right? So to what Joe's is saying, you're right. This is what the ladies fought for. And it's a bit frightening to be like, but wait, y'all don't get it? You are, and damn, I don't have the Edward Anderson clips queued up. Damn, this is a good time to play it. God damn, it would take too long. It would have messed up the flow, but this is a good time to play the clip from Ed. You are the man. Like, you are the man that you fought to be. You are the good man. And shout out to Edward Anderson. Yet you are the good man. What he said, read the feminist literature. It's in it. It's in the itch, right? I don't have it queued up. Oh, that would have been so seamless, but it's in there. And so you have to somewhat assume that role. Somewhat. The ladies refuse. There's nothing wrong with that. Ebony's going to be okay financially, more than likely. I don't see Ebony falling off financially. Right? Ebony K. Williams said she's just a younger Claudia Jordan, right? A decade or younger than Claudia Jordan. Same line. Huh? Ebony's going to be okay financially. The issue is, if you care about the Black community, Ebony helps to continue. I don't even want to say set, because she just continue a long line of giving Black women a pass on this type of rhetoric and language and worldview. The difference is 90% of Black women, 95% of Black women can't actually afford this worldview. Huh? Now, this ends up looking bad on the quote-unquote Black community. I purposely said quote-unquote, because people look at Black men like, well, why aren't you doing for your women? Well, these are our supposed women. Air quotes are women. This is them. This is how they talk. This is how they think. Cue up the clip from Ebony K. Williams talking to Iyanla Vanzant. Yes, she got the money to do it, but all the women that don't, well, they talk crazy. Huh? And they think they run things, and we got to let them know through action. Well, if you run it, then you should be able to afford it. If it's a matriarchy, you should be able to financially afford your matriarchy. Uh-oh.
Well, look, for me, it has never really been about Black man or man. It's been about men. Mm-hmm. You know, there's this myth out there that Black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by Black women. Black men come from our bodies. Yeah. So Black men have Black mothers. So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the Black
community. It is very
community.
strong.
Yeah.
Conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the Black
community. It is
community.
very strong.
Yeah. The matriarchy is strong with the Black community.
It is very strong.
Yeah.
I told you. I told you. I told you.
Yep. And to Trish, wait, she younger than Claudia? Yeah, I think Ebony is in her early 40s. She's like maybe 43-ish, something like that, 42, 43, maybe 44, somewhere around there, like 42, 43. Claudia Jordan is like 52, so about a decade older, something like that, right? Yeah, so there you go. Right? They look like they could be related to me. Right? But the whole thing with particularly Ebony K, it's not just her. When you look at Ebony K. Williams, look at Angela Rye. Even though Angela Rye, she pushed back on that. Let's be fair to Angela Rye. When Ebony K. Williams said what she said, Angela Rye recorded herself saying, I don't know about all that. Remember, both of these ladies are attorneys, brown paper bag test passing ass women, right? And yes, I saw the clip. Hopefully nobody else covered it. I called dibs on the clip already. I called dibs on it of Amanda Seals. I don't know what interview she was doing, and she was saying, oh, she's comfortable being a cat lady. She got 3 cats and a dog, and she was in the car driving, and she had, I think, the cats in the car or the dog in the car, whatever. And she was like, I'm at peace. We don't believe you. You need more people. We don't believe you. Huh? So throw Amanda Seals in there, Angela Rye in there, and I don't think, does Tiffany Cross have a man? I don't think so. Tiffany Cross in there, right? Obviously Ebony K. Williams in there. There's a bunch of them. They earn pretty good money. They're world travelers, right? Jet setters, as you would say. And it don't mean nothing, because ain't no man. And let's be very clear, they're not necessarily happy either. Those women might be some version of content. I didn't even know you could say woman and content in the same sentence, but okay, fine. But they're not happy. You know how we know they're not happy? Bring up men. Ooh, goddamn. Bring up men and watch them express to you that they're not happy in everything but word. What does Mr. Z mean by that? They're going to say they're happy. They're going to say they're okay. They're going to express that through word, but look at their facial expressions, right? And pay attention to the words they choose to use. They're not happy. Quite miserable, actually. Huh? Yeah. B. Simone, I forgot about that, Tro. That's another one. Came up on $1 million and instantly started to tell you how 9-to-5 dudes can't understand her and she can't be with a 9-to-5 dude. Nick Cannon talking to her, she's like, I can't do it. Da, 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 da. Fast forward, was that 3-4 years later? Maybe 5 years later? 5 years later?
A few moments later.
Huh? Ladies, this is why the men know y'all don't mean equality. We know y'all don't mean it. Because when this society, when the men, when even other women put equality on your back, y'all crumble, y'all run. As Anne-Marie Slaughter says, y'all get off the bus. Huh? And we know for the most of you, you can't afford it. Ladies, let Z say something that's going to hurt your heart. Dear ladies, even if you earn more than that male counterpart, that still don't mean you can't afford your life. Z, you about to say it. He earned less than you and he still gonna subsidize your hyper consumer ass. Now somebody tell Z I'm wrong. You earning 65, he's earning 40. You're earning 65, he's earning 45. And he's still gonna spend more money on you than you do on him. Well, damn.
He's right, you know.
I know I am. See, that's the quiet part. All these women with their nose in the air earning $75,000 a year, their man earns 60, and he still spend more on her than she does on him. He's still subsidizing her. Her 75 is really 80 and 85 because he's spending more on her, even though he earns less. Can somebody tell Z that he's lying? Who gonna tell Z that he's lying? Huh? Just want to know. The Arena Revised says, and thank you for the super chat, security at celebrity appearances are for women. They've proven over the decades that once hormonally overcome, they can't keep hands to themselves. See? So, in other words, more than often, when Chris Brown is with security, or when Michael was with security, when Michael Jackson used to be with security, it's not for men necessarily. More than likely, it's for women. The same women that throw their undergarments on stage. You know, we have the phrase, you're undressing yourself, and that's for somebody that's acting a fool or that's doing too much. No, these women were literally undressing themselves for Michael. Huh? So miss me with all of that talk, and it does happen, but miss me with the talk, oh, this person got a stalker, and they'll talk about either Janet Jackson having a stalker, or name the person, Beyonce having a stalker, name the woman. What they don't want to tell you is the people that get handsy with celebrities more often than not are women. And I was watching something from Australia. It was some Australian actor. He was on one of those Australian morning shows, and he was saying it's women be grabbing his junk. Women grab his, you know. Yeah. That's the part y'all don't want to have a conversation about now, do y'all, society? Do y'all, America? Do y'all, the West? And shout out to the Arena Revise. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Exactly. Women be grabbing at men. Women grab men's male member. Huh? What is the name of that damn feminist again? Oh my God, the heavy set white woman. Lena Horn, Lena Waithe, no, not the. We're not talking about the LGBTQ black woman. What is her name? Somebody's gonna say it in the comments. Somebody's gonna say it in the comments if y'all didn't already and I missed it. I forgot this lady's name, but she was the one who was speaking about grinding on Michael B. Jordan when she saw him at whatever function she was about to go to. Lena Dunham, thank you. Thank you, Joes. That's what I'm talking about. Dunham. Lena Dunham. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Yes, her. You imagine a man. Imagine it the other way around. We'll use the same exact people. What would have happened to Michael B. Jordan if he would have said, Nick, if he would have said, oh, I can't wait to go to this event because I'm going to be grinding on Lena Dunham. Nick! Huh? Yeah. Don't talk to me about, oh, but men in the physical prowess. Nope, y'all said equality. That's what y'all should have meant. Huh? Yeah. The women don't mean equality. And we've proven that. Men have proven that through action and inaction. Huh? And as Arena Revive says, the women get handsy with celebrity men. You know how happy the women are with Chris Brown now? Because they get to get handsy with him in a picture. And it's all good. Twerking on him in the picture, having him lift them up. I'm telling you right now, if you meet a lady and she has a picture with Chris Brown lifting her up, or have her in the doggy style position, she diddles herself to that picture. I just want y'all to know. She diddles herself to that picture. And there's nothing you can ever do in your life to make up for that damn picture. Huh? If you meet a chick and she got the picture with Chris Brown, and he got her lifted up and he got her to his waist, she diddles herself to that picture. She wished that was real. She wished he did that for real, if y'all get what Mr. Z is saying. You know? Huh? She diddles herself to that. Just saying. And thank you for the super chat, Arena Revise. And Joe says, seals, cat, and dogs. Oh my. Not lion, tigers, and bears. Oh my. But yeah, seals, cats, and dogs. That's what she said. I got to go back and find the clip. I was meaning to cover it. I kind of forgot about it and lost it, but we'll get back to it. We'll double back. Huh? She was being interviewed. Somebody asked her, and she said she's pretty much over that. She has three. She looks like she's embracing the crazy cat lady thing, but a bit of that, and this is what she's got to love when the ladies say that, because she's not the first to kind of say, fine, I'll be that. But you can see the tinge of resentment. And the resentment is not at the interview or the question. The resentment is that she has been, in her mind, she has been forced to resign herself to this because the men just won't act right. And what act right mean is bow down. Huh? And thank you for the super chat, Joe. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah. Joe says, seals, cats, and dogs. Oh my. Lions, bears, and tigers. Oh my. Tigers, bears, and lions. Oh my. See, you saying it all type of wrong. I know. Huh? You damn right. Huh? I'm missing something. I'm missing. Okay, there we go. Okay, Joe said other ones. I know. I'm about to say, wait a minute. Some of these done ran. And better use is, for the record, and thank you for the super chat. For the record, was trying to say she average looking, not large. Oh, okay. She average looking, not large, at the gym and made a typo. Okay. I see what you're saying. She do got some nice legs though. Okay, all right, right. You're at the gym. Something she was annoyed that, and shout out to Lion. Something she was annoyed that Brittany Renner told women to do. If you want a certain caliber of man, a certain man with a certain status and income, ladies, you're gonna have to be in the gym. You're gonna have to work out. And Kim Foster said to that,
because getting a man is not hard. Can we? Truly. Okay, no matter what happens with my relationship status, getting a man is not an accomplishment in 2023. And it also pisses me off. And this is why, like, Brittany is really fucking setting the free 30-something women the fuck back, okay? You're embarrassing us. Okay? And this is why I will always respect Amber Rose. Because to this day, Amber Rose is like, I'll take your fucking shit. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want to do. Sometimes it's a little cringy, but I'm going to stand on my shit. I'm going to own it. I love this. Whatever. She never switched up. Brittany's doing exactly what the manosphere niggas talk about, okay? Which is, you have a bad experience with a wealthy, high-profile person, you have a baby, you get dragged through the mud, and then you realize you're in your early 30s. This is their narrative. Their narrative is then you have a baby, you get dragged through the mud, and then you realize, oh, the clock is ticking, and so now you have to completely rebrand into a loud and proud pick me and scold other women about what they're not doing to get them in. That is exactly what they say. Why would stop embarrassing us? Stop embarrassing us. As a single 33-year-old woman, stop it, okay? I hope she at least, gets man she desires. I hope she gets some, good, faithful dick to swoop in or whatever, pay her car note or whatever.
yep, so you in the gym better you. But when Brittany Renner told Kim Foster and them to get in the gym, that was Kim Foster's response. She said, get in the gym, what she said, 3-4 times a week type thing. And you see what Kim Foster's response was. Huh? Yeah. Because the ladies, once again, going to the title, haven't said this in a little while, are doing half the math. They're doing half-ass math. Men are supposed to attempt to at least get and stay and remain physically fit, financially viable, right? Disciplined with their emotions, because the women are going to be assholes and mean and snarky and rude and emotional. So the men have to be disciplined with their emotions. Now, the women, on the other hand, could come to you and just throw whatever slop that is her on the table, and you're supposed to just take that and love it. Huh? Yeah. So thank you for the super chat, better you. Thank you for the super chat. Joe says, and thank you for the super chat. I already read this, and there was another one. Oh yeah, the Arena Revised, and there we go. And Ebony, he says, the Arena Revised says, and there we go. And thank you for the super chat. Ebony K chose the turkey baster over a whole man. That was her way of spiting the men. What Ebony K Williams was saying through that action, I said it. I heard Jason Black say it. I want to say I heard even BGS say that or imply that too. Which is, oh, so you elite men ain't choosing up on me. Not for any type of marriage and long-term relationship anyway. You think I'm going down to those men I think I'm better than? Watch this. I got another way. And this was Ebony K. Williams' middle finger to all men by saying, I don't care about your opinion. Y'all not going to hit me up for what I want to do. I said elite men or nothing. That's what I said. And if I'm not going to get that, then I'll just test tube baby. And to Ebony K. Williams, the collective of men said, shrugs. Huh? The collective of men's attitude towards you is, well,
hey, niggas get shot every day, B. You be aight, nigga. You tough, right?
That's what the collective of men attitude is. You got that, Ebony? Huh? To Ebony K. Williams and to the other Ebony K. Williams, the other women that think and feel just like her, whether they're professional, whether they're earning good money or not. The collective men have our shoulders up, shrugs. Y'all could throw the temper tantrum all y'all want. And that's all you're doing. Ebony K. Williams has enough money to not have to necessarily baby jack a man. But she already told you she was aging out the game so much. When she was on the Breakfast Club, she said she had already spent $50,000. Your average woman, white, black, Latina, Asian, or otherwise, does not have $50,000 just laying around to try over and over and over to get pregnant without a man. We don't even know what the entire bill was for Ebony K. Williams to have that daughter. If she was at 50 grand, by the time she was on Breakfast Club a couple years ago talking about it, she might have went up to 80 grand, $70,000, maybe even 100. We don't know how much she ended up spending. So yeah, the Arena Revised, I don't mean to make fun of her. For me, it's not about mocking her. It is about saying to the brothers, hey, I don't know whether y'all realize it or not. The ladies will go to the nth degree. Women, including black women, are just like these lame ass white dudes. They will cut their nose to spite their face. They will screw over society just to win a BS culture war and hurt themselves too. Just to do the well to white women who done got knocked up by a black dude and the black dude ain't in the picture. Well. I've seen them lame ass videos on Instagram. Loser ass white dudes. Side note, Mr. Z gotta go on a rant for a second or two. What's worse? Getting a chick pregnant and leaving her with the baby, or getting mad at a chick and then deleting her? White men. Let me see, which one is worse? A white baby mama that's annoying, so you leave her with the kid. I'm not saying that is good. Or a black ex-wife, baby mama, girlfriend that you mad at, so you delete her ass. And then now you're on the run and then you're in prison. Ooh, damn. Let's see, which one is worse? Huh? So to all the white dudes with the well videos on Instagram, shut the hell up. I put money that white girl came over here to get the 15-inch long. Nobody coerced her. Nobody made her. She came over here to get the 15-inch veiny member, black male member. It didn't work out, so she left with the kid. It's better than the black man being mad at her and deleting her, kind of like how white men do. Huh? If you want to go off of stereotypes, you lame asses. Well. White men get mad at black women, a girlfriend, an ex-wife, a wife, a baby mom. They're police officers. They might have got the chick pregnant. She gonna keep the baby, and he's already married to somebody. Oh, he gonna delete her. Oh wait, Z, you actually mentioned the real story. Okay, well there you go. Huh? And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. KMS says, men owe themselves to get in shape for health purposes. Also, so you can see how women really get down. In my college athlete body beautiful days, hysterical, women were known to get handsy. 3 dates out smash within the hour. Oof. 3 dates, he says 3 dates out smash within the hour. Hey, just saying. This is something that we have to be honest with, right? Women are human beings too. Women have primal and carnal urges also. Women have primal and carnal urges also. But if you are a square white dude and you never had a woman look at you with that lustful eye, especially a woman you find attractive, you gonna sound like these lame ass preachers or these lame ass dudes, these Tucker Carlson's years ago when he was still on Fox News. I think he was on Fox and Friends in the morning or something like that, and they were talking about more and more men not getting married or whatever. And he said something along the lines, well, it's a man's job to get married and have some kids and show some responsibility, and yawn. If you never had a woman want to be with you, not because of your status, not because of your name, huh? Not because of your wealth, implied security, but because she found you that attractive, then shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about, huh? Shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. I agree with KMS. If you've never had a woman look at you with the lustful eye, you just don't know what you're talking about. And the women will get handsy. And the women will be the ones to initiate the conversation about, triple X activity. The women will. I'm not going to say the person's name because I don't know if they want me to say the story. I'll just say we have a notable, important brother in this space, professional. And he told you when he was younger, he gave a young white lady a ride home, and she really wanted to ride him home. I'm just saying, if you listening, yes, I'm talking about you. If you're okay with me telling the story and saying who it was, I will, but I won't, just in case. I know you were listening earlier, but this brother has said this. He sent the story to me online, so I'm not going too far. It was in a private conversation, but yeah, professional brother said that when he was way younger, white chick, white girl, he was driving home, tried to initiate something, huh? And made it was explicit about it. This is not something that was implied. Yes, the women get handsy because the women are human beings and they get turned on also. Huh? This is why we say to men, if she got you jumping through hoops, if she's telling you what she not gonna do, that she don't like you for real. If you meet a chick in her mid-30s and now she got all type of weird requirements and standards, appreciate she didn't have that when she was 22 years old. 23, 24, 25 years old. And the men that she found truly attractive, they didn't have to do none of that. These dudes were smashing over a dime bag. Huh? They were really Netflix and chill in his room in his mother's house. In her room in her mother's house. In the car. I'm not even gonna mention all the other different weird places. Meanwhile, you at 35 better be earning over 6 figures, stable job, tallest however, kiss her ass, and this is assuming she don't got a child from another man. Once again, as KMS says, they do get handsy. KMS continues, says, not at my place, on her mom's club bathrooms. Wow. Classrooms, office break rooms, car, at their boyfriend's apartment. Damn. On the couch at a party. KMS is telling you. This is my point. This is my point. Huh? The women get handsy. The women get handsy. The women do more than get handsy. God forbid she a little inebriated. Oh boy. And now she can hide behind the alcohol. There's a reason why Jamie and them said blame it on the alcohol. There's a reason for that. Because the women do be blaming everything she wanted to do anyway on the alcohol. Listen, she wasn't that drunk. The alcohol is an excuse. She get to hide what she wanted to do behind, oh, I was drunk. Yeah, whatever. You were barely tipsy, lady. You wanted to do that anyway. And you want to do that with him anyway. Huh? Exactly, KMS. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And he says, these 304s ain't ish. I seen too much. And that's the part like nobody wants to admit. Nobody wants to admit the men have experiences too. And the same women that's all stush and all buttoned up be out here. Huh? The lady that accused Kavanaugh of all different misbehavior when he was being nominated for Supreme Court. What was her profession again? What does she do now? Huh? Recall all the women, black women, who were a bit afraid of that Z, could you get it out? The documentary that was supposed to be coming out. Was Uncle Luke the one that was supposed to be producing that? Was he the one who did it? These women do all of this stuff in their early and mid 20s, maybe even late 20s, maybe even early 30s, their entire life. But their standards are for you. No, not Anita Hill. I'm talking about Kavanaugh. Yeah, the Freaknik documentary. Yeah. And you remember, apparently, some of the women that were, you could see their face and everything, Freaknik documentary, some of those women were professionals. Not all of them went on to, be losers and whatnot, or just regular women, everyday women. Some of them were professionals. Some of them, apparently, there might have been a judge or two in there. Mr. Z is not about burying the women with their past, that particular past. Not necessarily. Here's the thing. The husbands, though, ooh. Their current boyfriends, though, ooh. See, you got him running through hoops. It's not even really about Freaknik. It's the idea that a woman has standards for you, and she got you running through hoops. And for the next man, he get it for the free ski. It's not just about, oh, this was her 20, 30 years ago. We shouldn't bury her with youthful indiscretion 20, 30 years ago. Mr. Z's not saying that. What I am saying is the idea that you have to jump through hoops because she really don't like you like that. You don't get the vagina wet like that. Huh? She about you. Meanwhile, the guy that she's hot and bothered for, he get it for the free ski. For nothing. She'll even pay for the hotel room if she's even gonna get a hotel room. It might could go down anywhere. It probably could go down anywhere. Huh? He just has to be. You have to do. You have to be something. You have to do something. You have to be somebody. The other dude just has to be. He just has to exist. See the difference there? He's either tall enough, good looking enough, which for a lot of women, they can't differentiate. He has to be tall enough, good looking enough, maybe white enough if it's a woman of color. Ooh, goddamn. And she going. Huh? And she's going. Telescope says they don't make it to the hotel room, Z. Telescope said the Z ain't no hotel room. And Ahana says, and thank you for the super chat. Ahana says, Kim going off. Brittany Renner couldn't pull her first choice. Had to have a sneak baby with a young dude, yet be the Cody working. Hashtag coffee bean. Look, Kim Foster appreciates this. What the Kim Fosters, and it's not just her, that's why I said the Kim Fosters. What they like to do is speak as if they're above that, right? And she kind of said that when she was going at the Passport Bros years ago. She's on a different plane. She's not worried about you dusty men and what y'all do overseas with these financially struggling women, right? She's above that. She's worried about something loftier, right? She's thinking about whatever domestic policy and politics and whatever. These were not her words, but this was the overall sentiment. And so they like to speak like they're above it. You have to appreciate women, much like white folks, like white men, black women in specific, they don't want to admit that they took a L. They'll never admit that I have resigned myself, or I've been kicked into the wilderness of men I have to pay for, men I earn more money than, men that I'm more notable than, I have more status than, because the men on my level aren't attracted to me, find me to be annoying, find me to be a nuisance, find me to be insufferable. Kim Foster will never say that. She'll never say that the men that earn my money and more, I'm not attractive enough for them. At least that's what they've expressed to me. Maybe not through words, but through action. She'll never say that. And women like her will never say that. They'll claim all type of colorism, featureism, texturism, fat phobia, misogynorism, all that. Right? Or they'll claim, oh no, I love who I'm with, or if they're single, I love being single, or I'm content being single. But they'll never ever say, look, the men I find, as Obsidian said to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson years ago, the women I like didn't like me, the women that like me I didn't like. Simple, cut, close, out the door, finish the statement within 10 seconds. Women will not say it, not in no mass, not in aggregate. Men will say it. Even if the men decide, you know what, I ain't gonna play the game. I'm not gonna date those women. I'm better than that. The men will say, hey man, like, bro, who I like didn't like me, and who liked me I didn't like. Simple. And shout out to BGS for drawing the contrast years and years and years ago. Obsidian got the statement out within what, 10, 15 seconds? I think he might explain it to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. It took maybe 3 minutes. Maybe. Oh, Stefco took damn near 30 minutes to say essentially the same thing. To essentially say the same thing, it took Stefco like damn near 30 minutes, yo. Huh? So, I'm saying all that to say, if Brittany Renner couldn't get her first choice, the Drakes of the world and whatnot, then we know Kim Foster ain't getting her first choice. She ended up with the dude she ended up with, no, insult to him, and she just gonna make it work and then try to convince herself this is where she wanted to be. That's why, shout out to Obsidian, when Obsidian said, oh, he looked just like you, she threw a fit. Because she knows what that means. But if you don't think, if you're a 7.2, Miss Foster, then your man is a 7.2 also, and there's nothing wrong with that. You got your looks match, and y'all go have a pretty good-looking baby. The baby might not be an 8 or a 9 or a 10, but 7.2 is okay. That's pretty good. But if you lie to yourself and you're a 4, and Obsidian said you got your looks matched as a man, then that means he's a 4. So you know what that means. So you were offended. It's either one, Miss Foster. And Ahana, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right? And KMS says, quote unquote, I said quote unquote first. The quote unquote alcohol isn't out. I've seen a chick take a single sip of beer, then scream, "All aboard!" You can extrapolate on, or tripping over his word. You can extrapolate on your own. I know what that means. Yeah. Wow. Hey, I could never listen. If you out here giving rides, we'll say. If you out here and you had locomotives ran on you, we'll say. Well, you had the locomotives ran on you. We can't do it. Shout out to you men who did. Shout out to you men who are okay with that. Y'all married prawn stars. Not even just oops baby with them. Not just smash because you seen her in a couple of flicks and you want to get your little kink out. Nope. Y'all marry prawn stars. So I know some of y'all just hope that the rest of us don't find out. Y'all out here marrying chicks that done had the locomotives on her. And then she filed for divorce on your ass in 5-7 years. What you thought? Y'all might not even make it to year 2. What you thought? Man. KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. We know. KMS says, once again, the quote-unquote alcohol isn't out. I've seen a chick take a single sip of beer, then scream, all aboard. You can extrapolate on your own. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Man. I could, and I wouldn't participate. That part too. Yeah, bro. Nah. Shout out to the dudes that do. Your guy number 2 to whatever. Guy 2 to whatever. Shout out to you. I can't do it. Can't do it. Nope. Protection or not, I can't do it. Can't do it. Nope. I'll admit it. Mr. Z2 square for that. Nope. Can't do it. Right. And Tunnel Runner says, tell the truth and shame the devil, Z. Thank you. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I'm Tunnel Runner. Thank you for the super chat. But y'all, Mr. Z got things to do. No, this was not a reckless stream, but we got things to do. I'm really trying to have everything ready for What Money stream tomorrow. We really going to try to do that and have a panel. That is the goal. I'm going to try to, do what I have to do so that we can stream early enough. I am set on streaming as early as possible because I don't know how much I can do reckless tomorrow or how I can be reckless tomorrow. So we will try to knock out what we have to do. Mr. Z is purposely speaking like this. Don't put it in the comments. As soon as possible, and that way we can stream as soon as possible. That is the goal for tomorrow, all right? So, yeah. Thank you for that, Tunnel Runner. Thank you for that. Better use this all aboard. Where's this choo-choo going? Hey, bro. Hey, you already know. You already. Oh man, I guess it's whenever she wants. When she taps out, I guess it's whenever she's done. So once again, guide 2 to whatever, right? Yeah. Whatever she wants. It could be guide number 3, 7, 12, 15. Wow. Hey, ladies. Shout out to the ladies. Shout out to the ladies. And today's stream, once again, was called Half the Math. But really, we're changing the title, Half the Social Math. What I played for y'all today are women doing half the social math. Are women doing half-ass social math, half-ass math? And so we had a couple of clips of the ladies talking. We had a clip of a brother talking about mean-ass black women because they're doing half the math, all right? On that note, y'all, we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. Trell said, now serving G97. Not the tickets. Not the little tickets and the little ticket counter thing at the door when you walk in. Shout out to Trell that ended the whole ending. Now I gotta do an ending again. Trell says social math, not math. I got you, Trell. I got you. And on that note, y'all, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. We're gonna let Trell have the last word. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content for the love of God. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.
You are now listening to Mr. Z Blackneffect.